Hey everybody, it's not Ross Payton here with Role Playing Public Radio. I'm Bridget, my pronouns are she, her, and we are running a Rossless game, so I hope you all appreciate Ross having a vacation. I'm joined here with my friends, Fae.
Yes, hi, I'm Fae. Glad to be enjoying a Rossless game. Just kidding, Ross. Always enjoy games with you. And go ahead.
No, I was going to take it away from you.
Yeah, please take it away from me.
Okay, and then we're also joined we are also here with our friend Jess from online.
Hi, I'm Jess. My pronouns are she, her. I'm also mostly known as Jess from online. And I'm guesting today because I'm the one who wrote the game we're playing. That game is called Going Rogue. And Going Rogue is a Rossless, GM-less game that is an expansion for a different GM-less game called Galactic. Galactic is a game by Riley Rethel. It's a belonging outside belonging game, which some people have pointed out have some striking resemblance to this really niche, nerdy franchise about wars among the stars. Some of you might have heard of it, but I won't bother.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Not everyone has.
Well,
You know Ross for 5 seconds and you already murdered my boy.
Well, my game, Going Rogue, is an expansion for Galactic. And about how that happened, besides there being a game jam for Galactic, is because I've been playing a lot of that base game. And I noticed it was really good at telling the stories of like brave, charming heroes, the sort of stories you get in the mainline Star Wars movies, but not as good at telling the stories of like that were a little like darker in tone that you got in a movie like Rogue One, which happens to be my favorite Star Wars. And so Going Rogue is built to support those stories. It talks about cynicism and hope and survival and sacrifice and democracy versus acting decisively. And in order to do that, it adds 4 new playbooks for those familiar with Belonging Outside Belonging. Playbooks are similar to Powered by the Apocalypse, which are a little bit of changes. It also adds 2 new pillars or setting elements, which are the Parliament and the Intelligence. And it adds a new mechanic, which are fates, and we'll get back to those later. So yeah, this is a game built to tell those sort of stories. And I'm really excited to get to play it with Fae and Bridget today.
hell yeah,
Yay.
I'm really excited too.
So to jump in, we have already started some of the character creation process on our own, just to get a little bit of it down. Would either of you like to introduce your character, talk about their name, what playbook they are, and what they look like? And for the playbook, can you read the little subheader that is under the playbook?
Yes, and you want to go in order? Let's start with Bridget.
Perfect.
Okay. The playbook I have chosen is the Leveraged. The Leveraged is a non-believer compelled by circumstance. Their power comes from their outside perspective, their desperation, and their capacity to grow. So I have already named my character. My character's name is V7. And the little guided character creation thing asks you to choose a look. So my character has a guarded face and small hands. And then it asks you to choose a wardrobe style. And so I have chosen quote unquote borrowed clothing.
Perfect. And Faye?
So I am playing a spy, and that little subheader is the spy is a skilled operator, highly committed but ruthless. Their power comes from their cunning, determination, and willingness to do whatever it takes. So my character is named Warren Wrongstep. Her pronouns are she/bitch. She has an unreadable face and disarming eyes. What? What's so funny?
Nothing. I
Love her already.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's gonna be great. So for her
It's
look,
great.
it's an unreadable face and disarming eyes. For the wardrobe style, I chose a plasma knife and a concealable blaster. And I think that you're all going to like her very much.
I love it when women suck.
Me too.
Okay. I am playing Ensign Kyron Kai Halcard, and Kai's playbook is The Convert. The Convert joined the Liberation recently and truly believes it can make a difference. Their power comes from their conscious optimism, energy, and luck. And the Convert's an interesting playbook that actually evolved from playtesting, realizing that this game has a lot of loners and cynics, and the Convert is sort of a foil to that helps often bind a party together. In playtesting, I discovered that was a very helpful thing to have around, especially for larger parties. But yeah, go ahead.
For the viewers at home, can we go ahead and talk about our Rebels and Empire analogs so that they understand the heroes and villains of this setting?
Yes, I was having the same thoughts when I said the word liberation. One of the things I recommend in the rulebook is that you actually go and do your pillars before completing your characters. So actually, after doing the looks, do we want to go through the pillars and that'll introduce them?
Sure.
Perfect. Okay. So Kai uses she, her pronouns, and her look is a bewildered face and hopeful eyes, a little in over her head.
Oh, Bambi.
Wait. What a fun toy.
Yeah, I had a feeling that's how Warren Wrongstep would see her. And her style is hand-me-downs, glasses, and standard issue boots. So, jumping to our pillars, these are sort of the things that exist in the world, and each pillar has desires, things that it wants independently. And we're going to start with the pillars from the base game, starting with the Liberation. So, we should actually read the Liberation blurb, which is something that Riley would have written in the base game, but just helps introduce what we're talking about. So I'll read the Liberation blurb, and then we'll read we'll choose two desires together. There are many in the galaxy who are not willing to go down without a fight. The Liberation are your comrades in arms, the people of the galaxy who are actively resisting and fighting back against the mandate. No revolution is perfect. It is made of people who are prone to disagreement and distrust, but that, many say, is what separates them from the mandate, working together towards a better future for the galaxy. So, two desires out of these options: retaliatory violence, long-shot missions, hope renewed, military strategy, imagination of a better world, ideological discourse, and working together. Are there any calling out to any of you?
Well, to cheat a little bit, because I know what we're playing, should perhaps long shot missions be a core pillar?
That was exactly where I was going. Works very well for going rogue. Anything else?
What were the first two again? I remember one of those sounded interesting to me.
Retaliatory violence. I was sort of going back and forth between retaliatory violence and hope renewed for a question of which tone are we leaning into harder?
Well, we have mostly Fae with no mitigating circumstances, so I feel like retaliatory violence.
Well, so here's I think the question. Is this long shot mission the retaliatory violence, or is it our chance for hope renewed? Why is this long shot mission on the table, I guess?
So I'll give us two options here. We can either try and set that tone now, or we can say fudge the rules and select both and figure out how that influences us later as we develop more.
Let's fudge the rules for now. Let's say that, like any significantly large body of people, they're a little undecided.
Yes.
Between which two they want to pick right now.
And I think the going rogue pillars will actually, the added ones, will help us get more specificity as well. So next up we have the mandate. I'm realizing these are not in the Going Rogue book. They're in the base book and the play kit. So I might just read each of the ones from the base game if that makes it easier for us.
Yes. Yeah, we have the Parliament and the Intelligence. So
cool. I'll have you too. Yeah, read those ones. You also play the Mandate. Sometimes it feels like there's no escape from its gravity. The Mandate is an intergalactic superpower that uses its might to control the galaxy with fear, propaganda, and alienation. The only way the Mandate can perpetuate itself is with the constant aggression, advancement of weaponry and violence, and we know that it will eventually collapse under its own weight. However, until then, it continues to cause death and destruction across the galaxy. And it wants two of these things: untold destruction, unquestioned supremacy, military expansion, an end to the Nova, hierarchy and order, dominion over the space between, and restoration of an old order. And to explain what a Nova and the space between are, in Riley's words, the space between is the serial numbers filed off version of the Force. And the Nova, coordinating with that, are the serial numbers filed off version of the Jedi. Though not the same sort of implications of being weird sexless ascetics. So just people who interact with the space between.
Oh, thank God they can fuck.
Yes, exactly. So are there any two Mandate desires that are calling out to people?
Dominion over the space between sounds kind of cool, but I don't know what that would look like. I just think I think it would be interesting.
Cool. Yeah, we can
also. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, we can figure that out and play. I like that idea.
Maybe it's like a case of if I can't have this, no one can have this.
Oh, very like Order 66 sort of deal.
Yeah, just completely delete like the Force in general. Like if we can't tell the Akashic record what to do, then we may as well delete it entirely.
Love that.
Consequences be damned.
And Faye, were you about to say something?
No, I was basically going to say something along the same lines. So Bridget pretty much covered it already.
Cool. Yeah. I'm thinking like coordinating with that, unquestioned supremacy seems good. Basically, the idea that like there can't even be doubt, and maybe our party's goal is to reintroduce doubt as a thing that exists around the Mandate.
Hell yeah.
That would be a good how do you explain it? Like thing for our kind of mission is the showing that even the Mandate can bleed.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Unquestioned supremacy. So next up, I'll read the blurb and then I'll have someone else read the desires because I'm realizing those are in front of you. You also play the space between. The connections between people are what surround us and give us strength. The galaxy is never silent. It is alive and humming with energy that you can feel if you pay attention. When channeled correctly, the space between can turn dominions into empires and revolts into revolutions. But be careful, for concentrated power can be dangerous for anyone who dares come near. Bridget, you want to read those desires?
Oh gosh.
That's okay. I can read them if they're not immediately in front of you.
It's not.
That's totally fine.
I can't see it on my PDF.
That's
I'm not sure if we have that.
It's in our play doc is where those desires are.
Oh, okay. Cool.
You know, technical stuff.
Okay, because I can see Parliament and Intelligence, but I can't see the other ones.
Yes, those are the only ones in the. Go ahead, Faye.
Okay.
I think I can read off the desires for the space between. Let's see. Wait. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I can read the desires off for the space between. Whatever.
Go ahead.
All right. So between the following, choose two: solidarity, difficult choices, balance, intense bonds and uncontainable emotions, solitary training, enlightenment, revelation, or unity with those who came before.
Solidarity sounds good.
Yeah, I love that, especially in the face of like our Mandate desires. Like, what is it that fights back against that? It's the space between like wants us to stand in solidarity in order to not be crushed.
Yeah.
The other two that are other two that are standing out to me are either difficult choices or intense bonds and uncontainable emotions.
Difficult choices, I think.
I think.
Yeah.
This story, especially when you're talking about like all of those tensions that I set up in the beginning, so that seems like it fits really well.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that sound good to you, Bridget?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. And I will read the best description, the best blurb of all is for the Scum and Villainy tier. You also play Scum and Villainy. You know, criminals. Faye, would you like to
Oh,
read the
yeah.
desires?
Yes. Let's see here. So, between these, choose two. Uncomfortable bargains, understanding, the jackpot, secrecy, strings to pull, escape from this livelihood, fresh blood, or enough credits to get through the week.
I'm feeling strings to pull. I just love the idea of this like web that could come up.
I am always a fan of strings to pull.
Cool. Anything else jumping out to y'all?
No, I think that sounds good.
I would. You're playing like kind of a bright-eyed character, right?
Yes.
Would picking fresh blood have any like tie-in with that, or like what would that be like? I don't know, pertinent, I guess is the word.
Yeah, I could see that happening, especially if we pull more in the criminal element, not just like liberation versus mandate. Them like wanting to get their claws into Kai could be really fun.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Cool. So fresh blood will be our second pick. And now we will move on to the intelligence and the parliament, which are the two pillars from Going Rogue, and I think really set the tone of how this game differs from the base game. They are the longest blurbs. They're, I think, where I let myself be the most indulgent in my writing. But thank you. I'm very proud of them. So I will ask each of you to pick one and read it, and we'll do desires.
Oh yeah. I'll do the parliament then. Just
Perfect.
right off the bat. So, you also play the parliament. A revolution is nothing without its democracy. The parliament represents a diverse range of forces, factions, and commitments joining together to try to negotiate their differences and devise a plan that they can all share. At its best, the parliament is a comradely collectivity and an example of how a more just galaxy would be governed. Sadly, democracy is not without its discontents. The parliament is often slow to action, even when the situation calls for decisiveness. It can be conservative and conciliatory, aiming to keep the peace and avoid risk when only daring action can move the galaxy closer to freedom. At its worst, the parliament is a wrench caught in the gears of liberation.
And Bridget, I'll actually ask you to read the intelligence blurb before we move into the desires, if that's okay.
Sure. You also play the intelligence. A revolution is nothing without its might. It is the liberation spies that enable its small fleet to succeed against a vast enemy. The intelligence is a clandestine network and messy hierarchy of burdened people who do whatever it takes to rid the galaxy of the mandate. At its best, the intelligence can turn a guaranteed defeat into a galaxy-inspiring victory. Sadly, intelligence work is not without its iniquities. It's possible to do great evils in the pursuit of justice, and it's very difficult to walk that line without treading over it. Those in Liberation Intelligence position themselves to avoid oversight and accountability whenever possible, and are not above hurting those with good intentions. At its worst, the intelligence corrupts the ethical and democratic principles that distinguish the Liberation and the Mandate.
Yeah, and so these two sort of juxtaposed forces within the Liberation set up some of the main tensions of the game. And it's important that, like, neither one is the bad guy. Like, the intelligence aren't the bad guy for sometimes going too far or whatever, and the Parliament aren't the bad guys for getting in the way. It's a question of, like, when is each needed and when is each too much is something this is meant to explore. But yeah, so Faye, do you want to read the desires for the Parliament? And we'll go ahead and pick 3.
Yes. So the desires are consensus, caution, guaranteed victories, cross-class alliances, forces in reserve, peace through compromise, a dream that never dies, lengthy deliberation, safety from retribution for the innocent, ideological discourse.
So the ones that stand out to me with the other things we've talked about is a dream that never dies and an ideological discourse. Right? So like what I feel like what they want to do is like fight the mandate by proving that you can't kill hope, and you can't kill ideas. And there will always be someone after us to pick up the torch. But also, nobody can agree on like how we're supposed to do that, or are we doing it the right way, or should it be us who do it? Should it be a different group of people? Like,
Yeah, what are the ideas that they
I
can't
like,
kill?
yeah, I like that they I like them like being ostensibly like the good guys, if you will, but also like completely um like caught in their own discourse. You know, like obviously wanting to be the good guys, but like you get what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
I love that connection. I was thinking A Dream That Never Dies too, and I'd never seen someone connect it to ideological discourse in that way, so that's really cool. How
Hell
about a third
yeah.
one?
So Dream That Never Dies and ideological discourse.
I think Forces in Reserve works with that. The idea that like we sometimes we
Yeah.
have to hold back because we need to make sure that we never lose everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like why they always seal evil for 1,000 years and never actually get rid of the evil.
Absolutely. Okay, cool. So we've got our parliament. And then, Bridget, can you read the desires of the intelligence?
Sure. A chance to turn the tide of war, leverage over liberation members, the heads of mandate officials, reduced oversight, absolute obedience, the secret mandate weakness, willing sacrifices, to bear the heaviest burdens so others don't have to.
Anything jumping out?
I like the combination of, and you can talk this out with me, leverage over liberation members, willing sacrifices, and to bear the heaviest burdens so that others don't have to. Because I feel like it fits with that undying dream like thing, but I think that the intelligence has like the intelligence higher ups have like a unified like version of what that dream should be. And so promotion is through like either absolute obedience or willing sacrifices. And then to get past the ideological discourse, they have leverage over everyone else. But like they feel justified in this because it's like we have to make the dream happen because the parliament will never make it happen.
I am down to take that wholesale because I love that version of the intelligence. How about you, Faye?
Hell yeah.
Cool. Okay, I think we've got all of our desires. So with our pillars done, we can head back into characters if that sounds good.
Sounds
good to
great.
me.
Cool. So I think you both have a little more of your characters complete than I did. I'm still making some decisions. Do you want to go over what you've got for your characters?
Hell yeah. So Bridget, do you want to start?
I was going to defer to you, but yeah, I'll start. So just looking at my playbook here, and I'm going to be super obvious about this because we want to showcase the system. The defining trait of the leverage that it starts with is what is someone holding over you? And some of the options are connections that could keep you out of prison, your impounded ship, a chance to see a loved one again. And the one I went with is your own guilt surrounding your past actions.
Cool.
I think since the leverage like needs something, and this actually fits really well into our like dream concept, is like the promise of forgiveness if you do everything I say and bark when I tell you to and sit and stay. I think is very a very good driving force for a character.
Yes, the idea that like you can't absolve yourself, but if only you follow this person's orders totally, you will be absolved. I love that. I don't think
I to continue, or do you want to?
Oh yeah, go ahead and continue up to your relationship. So each character has two unique questions, or each playbook has two unique questions that only that playbook gets, and we'll do each of those in turn.
Okay. The next question asks of the leveraged is choose two principles that challenge even your cynicism. And the ones I went with, there's a lot of good options here, is everyone deserves a chance to free themselves. And then there's a bottom one that's like a freebie that says, I will write in my own. And so I have written the principle, continuity is not a chain.
Oh, please explain that. I'm fascinated.
So I didn't want to say like tradition because it's not exactly tradition, and I didn't want to like lean too hard on that. But the concept of continuity is like so like people can change, and things you may have done in the past or have things that have had been attributed to you don't necessarily define who you are as a person now. So just because you had a relationship in a specific way or had principles you were bound to in the past, like you can't let them force you to self-sacrifice now.
I love that, and I love how that like combines with everyone deserves a chance to free themselves. I just have this vision of a character who's like, everyone deserves a chance to change, except I don't even know how to have that for myself besides just follow all these orders, is at least the vision I'm getting.
Yeah, it's part of the undying dream that they want to pass on, but it's also one of those things where like because you require validation from an outside source, like you can't believe this for yourself.
Oh, I love that. Okay, heartbreaking. Thank you. Speaking of heartbreaking, thank you. You want to give us Warren Wrong Step?
Yes, I love to give you Warren Wrong Step. All right, so for the spy, let me scroll up to where I'm at. All right, so I get to choose one principle I've broken and one I will not break. So one principle I've broken is loyalty to those who've helped me before. And one principle that I will never break is retribution to those who cause harm. And I feel like that these kind of play into each other because it's like, yeah, sure, you've helped me before, but you did something fucked up. So, I mean, you don't exactly get a free pass.
Well, definitely, it also kind of sounds like do what I say, not what I do, because it's like, don't ever break your promises to me. It's fine if I break my promise to you.
Yeah. Warren Wrongstep is someone who is like an ideological extreme. I'm
justified for doing it because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And you're wrong.
Yeah, she's that weird sort of like cognitive dissonance that you see in real life people where they're like, yes, this is the correct thing to do, no doubt. And then they're like not practicing what they preach.
Yes.
Anyway. So,
do you know someone who is this specific person or people that you've harmed before that were, like loyal to you?
Don't have a specific idea for that yet. And I was going to kind of see if something came up when we're working on the relationships or the ask one left and one right.
Perfect. That sounds great.
Yes. So, and then next I get to choose one thing that I've sacrificed and one that I'm fighting for. So I picked two that are like, you know, on if you're going by the tin, then it's like, well, those are the same. But the one I sacrificed is the person I could never be, and my desire is the opportunity to live a different life. So at some point, I think Warren kind of snapped. Like something just kind of like broke in Warren's head, and she realized, yes, a better world isn't possible, but I may as well continue fighting for this shit. But like,
bud.
Yeah. Because like the only alternative to like, even if a good world isn't possible, that's no excuse to be bad. Basically, is her reasoning. Yeah. So just push the boulder up the hill, Sisyphus.
I love anarcho-nihilism. Cool. So that's our Warren Wrong Step. And then I have to settle my own. So my first question is, why did you join the Liberation? And I'm split between two, which is I became disillusioned and defected from the mandate, and I witnessed a mandate atrocity. They're not like mutually exclusive, but I'm trying to figure out like which really motivated my character more. Is it like I personally couldn't be involved in this? Or is it like, wow, this fucked up thing happened right in front of me, and therefore I'm like, I have to go do something about this?
What if it's the latter because it like threatens the death of your dream?
Yeah, absolutely. Um,
I'm going to lean real hard on this dream stuff. It's all going to come together. Promise. I promise.
It's good. I'm ready.
Yeah, I like having like a central thesis, and I've never really played with this one, despite all of my playtesting here. Is like this has never been the driving idea. I sort of like if that's going to be the thing. I like the idea that like her deal was like she had a liberation poster on her wall, right, like a propaganda poster, but she never. She was like, they'll do it. I don't have to worry about it because liberation's going to do it. And then like something really horrible happened. I'm guessing like her like city was attacked or someone she knows was killed. I'm going to like figure that out sort of as we go. And she was like, oh, wait, this is personal. This is on me. I have to be a part of this. And so she shows up sort of like fresh faced and not sure what to do, but also like, yeah, this is the place where it happens. Right.
Yeah. Can I tweet about this?
Yeah, absolutely. I love that concept. I am Jess from online. But so my other question is choose the one skill you're trained in and the two you want to learn. I was really undecided on this. If I was going to be in the mandate, it would be very different. But now that I'm not, I'm trying to choose between, for the one I'm trained in, either mechanic work, piloting, or hacking. I think she's in some sort of like support role that she does in like a civilian capacity. So either she like is some sort of civvy pilot or mechanic, or she like does hacking as like a hobbyist thing. Like she's like a phone freak, but in Star Wars. Does any of these sound most appealing to y'all?
I think phone freak is funny and like interesting.
Cool. So she's this like I think like 19-year-old phone freak.
Oh my God.
I love her already. With a side cut mullet, by the way. Didn't put that in my wardrobe looks, but
perfect.
Yeah. And then the skills that she wants. I think it's grace under pressure. Like she is a nervous individual and wants to feel like, oh, I can do the things I'm good at in a tough situation. Mm-hmm. And what's the other one? I think it's close quarters combat. I think she's like, I'm in the liberation now. I have to be able to like fight for myself or whatever. And I don't really think she understands entirely what that entails.
Right.
Yeah. Grace under pressure and close quarters combat.
That's such a dork. That's amazing.
Good for her.
Yeah, she wants to be the hacker who does karate, right? Yeah, I think we are moving on to two relationships that we get to choose. So do y'all want to talk about what you had in mind?
Yes. Go ahead.
I think it was Bridget who went first, so we might as well keep the same cycle.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. We can have Bridget do it. There's a long list of relationships, and the cute thing about it is it suggests like one word powerful descriptors. So the first one, the option that you have is the scheming or commanding liberation officer leveraging me. And I wanted to build my character's backstory of B7 onto her character sheet. So the relationships that I have decided to go with is my innocent loved one captured as leverage, V8, and my troublemaker partner in crime, V6.
Oh no. Oh no.
So are you understanding the naming scheme now?
I really am, and it's so unfortunate. Oh, bud. Oh, God, someone in the intelligence is really not pulling any punches with how they are leveraging you, huh?
Mm-mm.
Cool. That troublemaker partner in crime, are they like someone who is around, or is that sort of going to get determined as we go?
Yeah, I'm not sure how much she's going to... I think she's going to be more of the so if V8 is the ball, then the troublemaker is the chain.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, is the troublemaker then like already involved in the liberation?
Yeah, we're all in the Liberation
Cool, cool. Oh, the
in
whole
various
V
degrees.
series.
Yeah. Well, these particular three. Yeah.
These three. Cool. Okay. And something I wanted to say is that the descriptor words also provide moves from the base game. So in addition to each of the characters having moves, like in Belonging Outside Belonging, which is the engine, which I didn't say is from Avery Alder and I think it's Benjamin. I'll have to look up his name later. At the end, I'll talk about all the systems we're drawing on. But it provides an engine that Galactic is built on, and Galactic adds in traits, which are words that you can give to NPCs that give NPCs moves as well. And so those one-word descriptors will also give us some moves for those NPCs.
Very cool.
Yeah, and Faye, do you want to go ahead and talk about your relationships?
Yeah. So, the first one I picked is the protective mechanic who services my weapons and ship on the sly. I certainly didn't quite build as much into it as Bridget did yet. Aside from some very crude notes, mind you, I named her. Her name is Timkey. I have a note here that she is a MILF.
Love that. See, I don't know what you're talking about with you haven't filled out detail like Bridget has.
So the next one that I've got is a passionate ex with whom I had a fiery relationship and breakup. And her name is Tondrakian Quine, and she is a Nova. And I think that this was very much a oil and water situation, but yeah, she's very ideological, but in a very just left adjacent or parallel way to Warren, and it just did not. There was no conciliation.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Some relationships in my own life. So yeah, I will give y'all the moves for those. And
hell yeah.
For mine, there's one I feel like I do know and one that I feel like I don't. So I want to have a rousing liberation ace who inspires me.
Okay.
So they're actually...
Yeah, I've seen Your Turn to Die.
Oh no.
Oh god.
Actually, what do you think is more interesting, rousing or cocky? Do we want them to be as inspiring as I find them, or do we want me to get there and be like, oh, this person's a little bit of an ass?
I really want them to be extremely inspiring and living up to that. Because then it's going to be so tragic when you understand that they have incredibly little impact on the world.
Oh, cool. So yeah, we have our rousing liberation ace who inspires me. I'll name her soon. And
it's a good name.
Yeah.
That was a joke. Oh shit. Okay, yeah. I'm on this. I'm on it.
You're on it.
It wasn't a joke, but you made it one, which I really appreciate. Thank you for that.
I'm in it. My bogos are binted.
Clearly.
And we need one more. So I'm trying to decide either an austere or scheming liberation authority with plans for me, or a burdened or cynical liberation veteran who warily trusts me. I'm leaning that authority with plans for me, who maybe is also leveraging V7. But I don't know if you want that connection. Or it could be the boss of... It could be Warren Wrongstep's boss.
Let's do it.
Because I was thinking that I don't mind. Yeah, Warren Wrongstep's boss, and so that would make a good reason for Warren Wrongstep to be telling V7 what to do.
Yes. So is your boss austere or scheming?
Oh, let me Google something.
Pull up and Googling something. How many girls can one girl take in a fight?
Yeah.
I also can read you the moves for these in case that helps, which for austere is hold your head up high and gain a token. give someone harsh criticism and give them a token, or demand someone change what they're doing to fit your values and give them a token. So that's austere. And then the other option was scheming.
I think scheming. I like the idea of scheming.
I like scheming because, okay, so maybe what intelligence is doing is feeding the ideological debate. Because if an ideology ever like starts to gain traction, but it's not what the intelligence has decided is the best course of action, like maybe they just sandbag forever and prop up the opposition.
Oh
my god, yeah, absolutely. Scheming Liberation Authority with plans for me, and arousing Liberation Ace. Cool. Let's see. I have a names document, I think. So for our arousing Ace, how is Talatil?
Oh yeah, Talatil.
Okay. And for our scheming Liberation Authority, how is I've got Irax Thillin, I've got Magent Psychon.
These are some powerful names here.
They're very Star Wars is my goal.
Let's do.
I love a Star Wars.
Repeat the second one again.
Magent Psychon.
Yeah, let's do that. That sounds really like imperious.
Cool. Do we want Special Agent Psychon? Is that the deal here?
Special Agent Psychon.
And then Captain Talatil. I think the Agent Psychon is going to use they, them, and Talatil, she, her. Cool. So we've got our relationships, and it does tie us together a little bit, and also gives a reason why I'm interacting with the spy, which I think is useful as a fresh recruit. Which moves us into the other things that tie us together. We each get 3 questions, and we choose 2 of them. One we ask left and one right. Since there's 3 players, that just means the other players. So, starting with Bridget again, do you want to choose your questions?
Yeah. Let's see. One left in real life. I have 3 options. All right, so I was thinking about, I have the question, how have you facilitated someone gaining leverage over me? And I thought this was really easy to send to Fae because she's playing the operative. But instead I'm going to send this to Jess. So how has Kai, thank you. How has Kai facilitated someone gaining leverage over me?
Fascinating question. So I assume Kai's a pretty recent arrival. And I assume V8 has been captured for a while. So it's probably more about your other form of leverage, which is like your guilt over your past actions. And I think Kai has blundered somehow into like bringing that up for you is I think what it is. Like something about Kai's presence or her story or what she cares about.
Oh, I hate you so much because you remind me of everything I don't like about myself.
Oh, God. And it allows the person who is leveraging you to like do that comparison.
Yeah.
Can you say like a little more about like what is it specifically that you don't like about yourself that it is that I bring up for you?
It's the kind of idealism that like there can be a better world. Or like all you have to do is try and everything will work out in the end. Like you just have to take the first step onto the path and then you'll make it through the journey. And then like V7 who's like been through some shit is like, yeah, sure, okay.
And so whoever's leveraging you can just sort of be like, remember when you believed that? It's too late for you. So just like, it's too late for you. Don't worry about what you want or think works. I can give you the plan.
Yeah, I think that's where V6 comes in. I think V6 likes pulling that.
Oh, interesting. So one of the people that's leveraging you is actually another person in that line. Oh,
yeah, like V6, because like every time V7 is like, this place sucks, we can leave, and V6 like, no, we can't because you fucked it up.
Oh, heartbreaking.
I want you to
Perfect.
Understand, I would read a large number of words about this.
Yeah. Um, that is not unfamiliar to me, Faye, because my main Galactic game, which inspired me partially to make this expansion, we have written 140,000 words of short fiction about our 4 characters and our
baby.
universe. So, yeah, Galactic and Going Rogue can inspire some really moving characters.
I mean, that's all you really want from a story-generating machine, right?
Exactly.
Is characters that you want to think about when you're not at the table.
Precisely.
Hell yeah.
Okay, do you want to ask Faye?
Okay. I'm sorry, did you say Faye ask one, or I ask one to Faye?
You ask one to Faye.
Okay. So out of my other questions, the other 2 questions that are here is, how have I surprised you with my skills recently, or why do you feel sympathy for me? And I don't really care about like the mechanical abilities of like what people can do. So like what I want is a reason to feel bad. So why does Warren feel sympathy for V7?
So I knew about your concept going in.
Yes.
I previously for one of the spy relationships, I get to choose like a faithful or innocent friend that keeps me grounded. And I was toying with the idea of maybe Warren is acquainted with more than just V7, V6, V8.
Oh, do you know the source personality?
I think Warren knows the source personality.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh God, I love how these characters relate to each other already. Oh no.
The source personality is dead. I need to point this out before it comes out.
Yes, source personality is
source personality has been dead for a little while.
So I guess maybe they were like a big part of your past, Warren?
Yeah, I'm thinking so.
Cool.
Maybe their death was the inciting event that drove Warren to become such a like ideological extremist.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Oh. And how does that lead to sympathy for V7 specifically?
Because I've had to watch V7 go through the same struggles, like, 7 times now?
Oh.
More than that, because remember because
right,
there's
yep.
V8.
Yep.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Oh, God. Okay, Faye, do you want to ask your questions?
Yes. So what you have, Kai? You have one. Did you end up going with? You witnessed a massacre, or?
Yeah, it was something like that, or like a friend was killed. I didn't decide specifically, so that could actually. It was an atrocity of some kind, so we could work that out in these questions.
Okay. So, how did my actions put you at risk recently?
Interesting. There's a lot of different answers I feel like I could give this. Do you want it? Do you have a preference between before or after I join the Liberation?
I don't. It can be either.
I'm leaning towards after, and I'm leaning towards you have something to do with how I ended up in your CO's sights.
Yes. Yes.
That you were like, that is a usable new thing. Hey, what's the name? Is Special Agent Psychon. What if we use our ensign here in X way? And if you're okay, I'd like to leave that a little undefined, and we can finish answering this question as we go through the rest of it.
Hell yeah.
Cool. So you put me in your CO's sights, but we'll figure out for what as we go.
Yes. All right. So second question then.
Yep.
All right. V7. What is one lie that you caught me in, and how did it make you feel?
The lie you caught me in is I think you made the right decision. Or the lie that I caught you in is I think you made the right decision. Like you have said those words to me. And I don't feel great about that. I really don't feel great about that.
Do you know what that decision was?
Um, yeah, yeah.
What's the
Do you want me to
decision?
tell you or
Yes, yeah.
um the whole escape plan for V8, V6, V7.
Oh my god.
Oh. Did you like try and escape and fail, or?
Oh
I
no, it was
think
successful.
escaping at all was
Oh,
Warren is saying it's the right choice, but does
that
not mean it.
cool. That makes me really curious about where were they made and by who?
Um, I can give you. I don't need it to be like a super big secret. I can give you the whole thing. So uh, the whole thing with V6, V7, V8 is they are recreations of a person. So we wanted to see if we could make an artificial copy of people in order to like facilitate a kind of immortality.
Yeah,
Because if you can just keep copying yourself, then that's functionally the same as living forever.
absolutely.
And like obviously the process wasn't perfect because there's been multiple iterations of it, and V7 wanted to leave at any cost. And the cost to leaving was to trigger a protocol that would like shut the project down. And that involved putting V6 or that involved doing significant damage to V8.
Oh, yep, yep. And who was the one running this project?
I don't. I feel like okay. I feel like it was actually probably a mandate liberation co-op.
Oh, huh? Go
Where
on.
it's just like none of us talk about who we are or where we're coming from or where the resources belong to, because we're both super interested in this project. And we're both having guns. So if everybody has guns, then we're all safe and we will all have equal access to this technology when it's finished, and we definitely won't betray each other.
Brutal. Oh, that's bleak. Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. Um, God, Kai is going to be interesting to slot into this universe, which I think is also going to be a nice counterbalance. Cool. Are y'all good on questions? Ready for me to do mine?
Yeah.
I think so.
Cool. So my two, oh wow, I haven't even considered these, so I should probably do that. My three options are: how have I impressed you recently? When did I inspire you to feel a fleeting sense of hope? And why are you willing to give me a chance to prove myself? So I'm going to ask Faye, when did I inspire you to feel a fleeting sense of hope?
You know how. So, okay, this is going to be a little bit of a lengthy lead in, but for some people, after they experience certain things, certain thoughts or like thought patterns become completely like, off the table for them. It doesn't even occur to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for Warren is, set, basically. But Kai has yet to experience enough trauma that, like, Kai is still able to see most of the options on the table, even if some of them don't seem plausible, because Kai is, like, a starry-eyed idealist at the
Yes.
moment. And I think that it's been a long time since Warren has seen something like that. And it's like, on the one hand, perfect, let's use this tool. On the other hand, this is like Kai is kind of emblematic of the life that Warren gave up.
Yeah, and I think because of the way this question is phrased, like inspired you to feel a fleeting sense of hope, maybe being around Kai, like in a way that could also be painful, like allowed Warren to see possibility through Kai's eyes, like see that possibility was still possible.
Exactly.
Cool. And Bridget,
Yams.
which of these two questions interests you more? How have I impressed you recently, or why are you willing to give me a chance to prove myself?
I like why am I willing to give you a chance to prove yourself?
Cool.
Um, so like, obviously V7 hates you. So I think that's why V7 like wants to keep you around and like keep a close eye on you and like see what you do. Because like she desperately wants validation that you're going to fail in the exact same ways that she did. So it will be fine. It will be fine. It will be fine. Everything that she did and what happened to her, because there was never any chance, and it never would have been different, and nobody else could have done better, and that kind of thing.
Absolutely. Oh God. Okay. Cool. I think we've got some really strong characters.
Yeah.
And what was I going to say? Pretty soon we'll enter like what Belonging Outside Belonging calls idle dreaming, where we sort of figure out how to jump in. I think, we did have one unsettled question, which was Faye's question about why exactly did you put me in your CO's sights? What was like useful to you about me?
You're nobody. Nothing's more useful than nobody. Like, you're not some big name. You're not like affiliated with anybody. Like, you are a skeleton key, basically, in the right hands.
And do you have a concept of like what you want to open with this key? Like where you were thinking of using me?
I think it would have to be. I see what you mean. It would have to be like in a group where, in a very like selective group, like that I might want to infiltrate or something, that you could just get slotted into, where you fit all of the criteria. Maybe you fit their like recruiting criteria or something.
Interesting.
And you aren't, because you fit all of the recruiting criteria and are like a nobody. Sorry, Kai. You might have like, I don't know, a GeoCities page with 100,000 followers or whatever, but like you aren't anybody as far as the mandate and the liberation and et cetera are concerned.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
You won't trip any red flags.
My only concern with that is just as in terms of if we go that direction for like what we're exploring during the campaign, how do we keep the party together?
That is true.
And like that's not impossible. Like you can be in the background and like there can be like loops of meeting up. Right. But I do like to keep them like on screen together a good amount of the time. Yeah. Does anything come up on how to do that? Or would we want to continue consider other purposes for her fresh-facedness?
If anybody has ideas for fresh-facedness, let's go ahead and field them.
I don't see the issue with how it's been presented so far.
Well, I think I just like, if the thing is that she's not recognizable and that's why she can infiltrate, that to me implies that the two of you are and therefore can't be like in the same place that she is, that she is infiltrating.
I think it's more that like like Warren's reputation like works no matter what. Does that make sense? Like so like everybody know, like Warren is a known quantity.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter that everybody knows who they are or who she is. And for V7, she comes from a project that was like, mandate and liberation like backed together. So like it doesn't matter that everybody knows.
So maybe it's a thing of what's her name? Kai opens doors and then the rest of the party walks through them.
Yes.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
I think that's an excellent way to describe it.
Awesome. Hell yeah. So, the one last thing I want to bring up is there's a mechanic called fates, which we haven't really talked about, and they act kind of like a pillar, but they don't offer the characters. You go through a specific series of moves that all are one after the other that tell a specific story. It is your characters are fated to experience something, and the fate that this expansion offers, is your fate is sacrifice. Some dedicate their life to the cause. One day, you all will dedicate everything. And at any point in the game, any character can give a token to this fate and ask any number of people to follow you into a mission with impossible odds. Each character who agrees gains a token and joins you in this fate. Then we have 3 fate moves that we do sequentially if we do this, and then we can seal it, and the sealing move is spend a token and sacrifice yourself for the cause. We don't decide ahead of time if we're going to take this on. We decide in play, but I recommend in the rules, and I think we should say, is this something we want to be like considering and possibly angling towards during this one shot? The idea of just ending in all of us sacrificing ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm okay with forcing the issue a little bit, because you have said that you wanted to playtest this and showcase this, so I'm fine with kind of fudging the narrative in that direction, or like
Cool.
choosing to focus on that direction rather.
I completely agree. I would really love to go that direction. And if we end up in the middle of it and we're like, actually, it's more compelling that doesn't happen, totally fine with me. But I really would love to be working in that direction.
I like to suffer, so
I do enjoy suffering. Yeah.
yeah.
But also there can be something so heroic about it. We'll see.
It's true. It's true. Beautiful tragedy.
Beautiful tragedy. I can be a little too starry-eyed sometimes, but part of how this game happened. So where do we want to jump into this story? I feel like we have a pretty good sense of we might be moving into a mission where Kai is going to get the two of you into a place that usually you couldn't get into. But do we want to start like at some Liberation base and how this scheme is being coordinated, or do you have other ideas?
Yeah. How about we do it in a heist movie format where we just decide what the mission is and we're already on it, and then as we need to overcome abilities, we can talk about conversations we had in the base and relationships that came up.
Fun.
That way we can talk to a bunch more characters without having them without needing to talk to them ahead of time. Like we can have flashbacks, and
that makes total sense. Do we want to start on the travel there, like on a ship together, or we are like there starting the mission, or even we are in the middle of the mission? One of those 3 sounds most appealing.
One of the latter two, either like on the way to the mission or already at the mission, is how I feel.
Cool. I'm thinking on the way to the mission because I think Kai's experience of what it is to be on the way will be very funny to me.
Yeah, I like that.
Cool. I'm going to add a token list down here. For those who are unfamiliar with Belonging Outside Belonging, which is the engine that this is based on, there are no dice. This is a diceless, GM-less game, and instead you have tokens. You collect tokens for doing what Belonging Outside Belonging calls calls weak moves, but Galactic calls them vulnerable moves, which expose your character and indicate, hey, show how I'm weak in this moment to other players, tells them to do that. Strong moves, you spend a token and it tells other players, play to my strengths, allow me to show off, allow me to appear what I want to appear in this moment. And then Galactic adds something that the base system does not have, which is lateral moves, which are do something to another player NPC and give them a token, or give them a token if they respond in a certain way. So just to know that mechanic is available going in. And so I'm picturing we're on this like spaceship, maybe either like a stolen shuttle or some sort of stealth craft, and we can figure that out as we go. And Kai is like drumming her fingers nervously on a table and saying to Warren, "Are you sure I'm up to this? I mean, like I just joined. I don't really know that I'm ready for this sort of mission."
Oh yeah, you're definitely gonna die.
Out of character laughter, not the tack that I assumed.
I'm kidding. kidding. Just a little, a little gallows humor, right? We're all on the plinth, so it's allowed, right?
I look over to V7 like, are, is she for real? Like, is she for real? Is the like look I'm giving V7?
V7 is like Van Damme, like absolutely no expression, and it's like, yeah, you're probably gonna die.
Is that out loud or with the expression?
Yeah, no, yeah, no, she has no, yeah. Warren's right. You're probably gonna die.
Looks back to Warren. Wait, I thought that was a joke.
Joke. V7's got, what I'd call a pretty stone cold sense of humor. It's a little hard to tell when she's joking, but that was definitely a joke.
Okay.
Looks back at V7. V7, like, serious eyes. I was not joking.
Like, shh. Look, just you remember what I told you about using a gun, right? Turn the safety off, point it, mid-body. But before that even, try not to get into a gunfight. That's really the best way to win a gunfight.
Try not to get into a gunfight. She's like nodding to herself. Try not to get into a gunfight. Okay, good advice. Good advice.
Right. So what we're doing is walking into a gunfight.
A series of gunfights. V7 correct.
Hopefully just one. If we're careful about this, just the one. And like,
look on the bright side. If you're not careful, it will only be one.
So why is it you need me again?
Oh, because look at you. You're like a mascot, Brighten the mood.
Why do you need a mascot on a spy mission?
Keep morale up. Right, V7?
V7 is like, has a kind of a weird expression, and it's like, you're here because you could still feel things.
God, how does Kai take that? Wow.
One thing Kai didn't expect. Honesty.
Yeah. V7's like, I want to show you an experiment. All right?
And yeah, she like nods.
You know what a simulated personality is?
Oh my god.
Kind of.
It means you're
like,
not real.
Not this one.
It means you don't interact with the world, in a way like you thinking, you feeling, you having responses, right? You interact with the world in the way that you are designed to. So we're going to do a fun little game, and I promise it's going to be fun. So I'm going to close my eyes, and I want you to touch my hand. With whatever you want. It doesn't have to be your hand. It can be a glove, a pen, your gun. And so V7 closes her eyes and holds her hand out.
And I think she has like a little like wrist pad, like a wrist pad computer, and she like detaches it and like taps you with the wrist pad on the hand.
And so with her eyes so closed, V7 goes, I can feel pressure. So I can tell that you're touching my hand. But I don't know what it is. But I still have to have the simulation of understanding. So to me, you're touching my hand with a book. And because you're touching my hand with a book, I can feel the cover. I can tell it's leather bound. It feels kind of old. I know somewhere in the positronic brain that makes up my memories, it is what it smells like. Now take the object away.
Takes it away, like nervously.
I will never know exactly what it is that you touched me with. So for my truth, it will always be a book, even if that will always be wrong. Do you understand?
Yes.
Oh. She sounds disappointed.
You'll notice that Warren is usually smiling, but when V7 starts doing this whole presentation, like, that smile drops a bit.
And so she looks back at Warren and she's like, so my job is to figure out if it's a book or a trackpad?
You got it, kid.
And I was going to say this ahead of time because I wanted to showcase the mechanic. But that would be an example of using a lateral move, which is one of my moves as a leveraged is to evoke someone's sympathy and give them a token if it works.
Cool. Give them a token if it works. Did it work? I think Kai was so confused. did it evoke her sympathy? I hate to shoot down you immediately evoking one of my mechanics, because I really like that you're invoking one of my mechanics, but I think the answer in this case is no. Like, I think it might come back around, actually, which I think could be really beautiful, is like, oh, this is what she meant.
Understands it later. I love the setup.
Yeah, let's hold on to it for later. Yeah, that'll be fun.
I love the setup of the really lofty philosophical question, and then the trauma necessary to understand.
Yeah. You know what it is? It's a completely nonsensical anime opening that by the midpoint of the climax becomes incredibly tragic.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And so I think she looks back to Warren and she says asks what her job is, and Warren's like, yeah, absolutely. It's like, and so that's why you chose me for this mission, right? Because you think I'm really smart at that, maybe because of my hacking or something?
Yeah, no, your hacking is great. Your hacking's really great.
Cool.
Mimicking Warren's term. Yeah, it's excellent. It's the best in the galaxy.
And she nods very genuinely, looking down at the table, that makes sense. Assume I'm going to do I did the vulnerable move. Assume good intentions from someone who means you harm. So I take my first token.
You got to stack up those tokens so you can commit great sacrifice later.
Yes, exactly. So what exactly in this case is the book or trackpad or whatever, I feel like you all didn't give me a lot of information going in, so it would be really helpful if I knew where we were going.
Oh, for sure. How good are you at lying? Just, off the cuff. Tell me a bald-faced lie.
I'm great at lying.
Good. All right. I see where you're going from, but you need more conviction.
So I'm going to be like, all right, so clearly you're terrible at lying, and that's part of the reason why we haven't exactly been forward with you. What would you do if, say, somebody took that book, I say as I draw a knife and pointed at you? What would you do if somebody took that book and pressed it up to you, huh? And asked you what you're here for?
I jump back as you draw the knife. I mean, books don't stab like knives.
Now you're kind of getting it. I'm gonna use a vulnerable move. Lie to a comrade about your capabilities or intentions. So, I want you to understand, even though we're not telling you what's going on, we will keep you safe.
And she nods. Okay, cool. I'll help in whatever way I can. It's why I came here, and you all have been doing this longer than me, so it's got to be for a reason. I trust you.
Hey, that's what we like to hear, right, V7?
That's what we love to hear, boss.
Do we want anything else out of this scene, or do we want to move forward?
Let me just look at my moves really quick, just as a refresher. I don't have anything particular in mind.
I have most of my weak moves play better, or my vulnerable moves rather, play better once we're in a position where we can get in trouble.
Cool.
The leverage has the capability of becoming a problem for the rest of the group, which I think is good.
I love that.
I think a cool thing that we could cut in if we end this scene here is if we alternate present scenes with flashbacks and juxtapose the we're not going to tell you why you're here, but we're going to keep you safe immediately with Warren's CO giving Warren and V7 their actual mission.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So do you have a well, I guess any of you. I was asking this to Faye, but do any of you have an idea of what our mission should be? What it is we're actually trying to do?
So, I assume... Let me just scroll down to this shit. What? So we had
Because
that.
I have an idea, but I don't want to make it like too me focused.
Right.
Whatever it is, for me, the only two things that it needs to like fit, sorry to interrupt, Faye,
No, you're fine.
are it needs to be a long shot and it needs to like we talked really about like introducing doubt back into the mandate and like making it so that this dream was thinkable. And so at some level, it needs to like be something that would be seen if it succeeded and
Right.
would introduce that sort of doubt or make that dream more possible. Is there a way to fit the idea you're having into that, Bridget?
God, what if our goal? Oh shit! What if our goal is to get Kai killed in an extremely like?
Oh, make Kai a martyr?
What if we make Kai into an incredible hero who's super young and
Oh,
super bright-eyed and did everything right and became a martyr so that the rest of us can always blaze for? What if our job
oh,
is to get Kai killed?
oh my god.
Jeez, that's bleak. That's bleaker than I've usually played this. I think we we could. We could.
We
I
can pull
think
back on this because my other concept was self-assassination, which is we need to end the V project for good. With the concept
Interesting.
being that like life doesn't matter if you can prolong specific ones indefinitely, and we need to make the mandate old guard afraid of dying of old age again.
cool. So I have two sort of things to offer back to that, like off of that improv style. So if we go the direction of your job is to martyr Kai, I think a stipulation I would want is that when the time comes, it is something that she does knowingly and consciously. That if we go that direction,
I think it would hurt more if like we set Kai up to be the martyr and then like Kai is like, well, if that's what we need. Yeah,
yeah,
I think because I want Warren to feel so bad about everything that's going on and then do it anyway. I
yeah,
think that's what I like the most about Warren.
cool. I want Kai really to have that degree of agency, and it sounds like that's on the table. The
Yes.
other, if we do the other idea, which also is compelling to me, in order to make it something that's a little more like public and impactful in this way, I was thinking, what if there was an announcement from the mandate like our emperor is now going to live forever? Like we
That's
have done this thing, and our job is to get in there and like blow up anything that would allow them to ever do this for that emperor and be like, actually, no, it's not.
yeah, that's what I was thinking for the second one. I really can't choose between these two because they're both good. But yeah, maybe there has been like I don't know, the evil Super Bowl or something, and they've recently been putting a lot of like PR shit into like, yeah, our dude's gonna live forever. Um, and there's like going to be some sort of televised event, maybe,
Yeah.
uh,
Absolutely. 100%.
where I don't know, maybe we fuck up there's like a transfer update process or something, and they
It's
plan on
this.
doing it publicly.
They're going to show two emperors at the same time.
Oh,
Like you're going to get to see both, and we're going to be like, you'll see both die. Um,
I love that.
does
Um,
that sound compelling to you, Bridget?
Um, yeah, because like so like maybe like the program that they have set up here is like the new emperor is going to symbolically murder the old emperor, like whatever they're like
oh,
not like forever living emperor is going to kill the other one. And it's going to be like the death of the flesh, like we
Yeah.
completely transcend mortality and thus morality, because what is the liberation to a god?
Yeah, 100%. Love that. And that's what we're
that's
here to interrupt,
fucking
which means it's going to be
good.
super intensely secure and also gives us lots of opportunities for V's past to come up because V is the experiment that allowed this.
Mhm.
That all sound good?
Yeah, which means
Yeah,
uh uh Warren could suffer.
Yeah.
I can suffer. Yeah, because I know the original.
Uh-huh.
Oh, pain.
Okay. So, we have our mission. Do we want to, in character, give that mission?
With the commanding officer coming up with
Yeah.
the shit.
So I'll be Special Agent Magent Psychon. Agent
Hell
Magent.
yes.
I can't believe I did that.
I thought that was a on purpose joke.
No, the Special Agent Psychon, the alliterative S's, that was on purpose. Agent Magent, no, oops. Anyway, I can play Special Agent Magent Psychon, and this lets us set some stuff up. That sound good?
Yeah.
I'm into it. I'm into it.
It's cool. Which immediately I'm going to pull an intelligence move, which is take someone aside for a secret meeting and gain a token.
Okay.
And so each of you gets a little blip over encrypted comms that doesn't have a name, doesn't have a location, and you know exactly where to meet Special Agent Psychon when you get that blip.
Oh yeah. All right.
And we get this separately, or is it for us and not Kai?
The two of you each get that,
Okay.
and you do not know who else has gotten it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm into this.
So, do you both show up at the same time? Does either of you show up particularly early?
I think. All right. So
We get a hall scene of the two of you running into each other right before you enter this back corner.
I think Warren is frustratingly on time every time.
Cool.
Why make it a secret meeting if you aren't just a little bit late? At least act like you didn't know where it was going to be. So yeah, Warren is waiting there by the time B7's there, and it's just I don't know, smoking and smiling.
And I think Psychon isn't even there yet, so you're just alone in the room.
Hey, V7.
This is definitely one of the things where V7 just kind of leans on the fact that everyone knows she's a robot. It was just completely expressionist, just kind of existing there. No tips, ticks or idle animations, just standing there. Just being awkward.
Unnervingly still human.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That bothers Warren, I think.
Uh-huh.
Enough that Warren is... do I have any moves that could play into this match? I don't know. Let me check. No, okay, I don't really have anything there. But knowing what Warren knows, it is painful to watch V7 commit herself to this nothingness.
Yeah.
And I don't think Warren has any reply. It's just okay, I'll stop.
So I think in that uncomfortable silence, Special Agent Psychon enters the room and just without looking at either of you says, "Take a seat."
See,
okay.
Taken.
And V7 sits down.
Yeah, V7 sits down.
Psychon sits against the desk, one foot lifted up against the desk, the other one hanging loose. So very much not your prim and proper commanding officer, but the I'm a spy with a billion things to do and I have better things to do than be here for a million hours.
Right.
Cool. And looks at the two of you and is I'm sure you've heard the mandate's whole what do they call it? Unliving God PR nonsense.
Sounds like a hoot. Gonna televise it and everything.
Well, unsurprisingly, this has caused a wrinkle in Liberation Intelligence's plans. As such, it will be on the two of you to disrupt this. Warren, or no, not Warren, Agent Wrong Step? Agent or another rank?
I think Warren insists everybody just calls her Wrong Step.
Can do. I think your CO would comply with that. Cool.
Yeah.
Wrong step. You're here because, well, I can have you here. And then looks over at V7. You are here for what I think should be obvious reasons. Any reaction on V7 or no?
No reaction at all.
There'll be a dossier, or a dossier has already been transferred to your devices on the specificities of the mission, which honestly are not worth my time, nor yours. You've done this before. What you should know is that young ensign that you pointed my way, wrong step, I think she's actually the key to how we pull this one off. At this point, face it, the mandate knows your face well enough that we don't want you taking the front, wrong step. And V7, for obvious reasons, you can't show your face at an event like this. So I'm going to recommend helmets or some other disguise. I'm sure you'll figure it out. And that youngster will be the face of your team. I assume she can't really lie. So please do find a way to keep her mouth shut. Any questions?
Not at all. Aside from, suppose you want us to take care of this new emperor after he takes care of the old emperor, or do you want us to do them in both?
Both would be ideal. More of a statement, you know. But go ahead.
Second question. Think it's got more impact if we make the kid kill the emperor?
If you can arrange that, we would appreciate it. However, first priority is just that they die. And on top of that, looks over to V7, you take out as much of the technology that makes this possible as you can. Got that?
And like, this is like probably the first time that V7 like shows like any kind of emotion, and she looks really sad and says, "Understood, sir."
What is the leverage that you think Saikon leans on more often? Is it V8 or is it your guilt about the escape?
It's definitely V8. So, what I want to do. I can't. This isn't a move that I have.
Oh, what is it you were thinking?
What I was gonna do is have her like send a ping to V6, and have no answer returned.
Yeah, that doesn't have to be a move. You can absolutely do that.
Yeah, I was just looking to see if I had a move that plays into it. Yeah, so she sends a ping to V6, knowing it won't be returned, and it isn't returned, and that makes her feel terrible.
Oh no.
God.
And I think
fucking robot.
I'm going to count this as the move reveal you have leverage over someone and give them a token. It's sort of like invoking it. Like you already know this, but like being like, oh, this comes into play in this situation. Saikon's going to look at you and go, it is the space between blessed you and your siblings when you and V8 made it out alive.
There's just one of us. I hate it when you say siblings.
Ignores that and goes, so don't jeopardize that survival by failing to eliminate what put you in this situation in the first place. Understood?
And like she takes a second and then it's like, understood.
Cool. And you get a token delivered to you from the intelligence. Because, for our listeners, all NPCs are grouped together with one of the pillars, and they share a token pool with the pillars. So that one I gained from the intelligence for calling this meeting was now given to Bridget's character.
Excellent.
Cool. And I think the last thing that Psychon will say, unless you all have something to engage them about, is luckily enough, we were able to intrude into mandate networks and establish a cover identity for our young ensign. Because we figured lying is probably not her strong suit, we've just gone ahead and used her real name. No one knows who she is and comes from some backwater town. It won't flag on any mandate. It won't flag on any mandate scans. So, yeah, you can tell her just to introduce herself. Understood?
Understood.
Reveal a previously unknown weakness and gain a token. So I'm going to give one more token to the intelligence for that.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Oh, actually, I'm realizing I didn't have to use the scheming move that I used, which was the reveal leverage, because the intelligence has an apply leverage move. So could have done either. It works. Hey, I wrote this game with the things that we need to do in mind. Anyway, with that, Psychon pings you again, and it highlights the dossier that's been sent over and strides out of the room unless they are interrupted, leaving the two of you alone.
I'm not going to interrupt them.
I have no reason to, yeah.
Cool. Could we get a closing comment about Kai? Because I think that really sets up the juxtaposition that we began with of Kai being like, why am I here? If you don't have one, but I would love if one of the two of you had something to say on that note.
If you've got something, I'll defer to you, but I might have something.
Yeah, I think V7 will say something like, I hope the ship back isn't too cold all by yourself.
The ship back?
Yeah, like the shuttle back after the mission.
That's funny. I didn't know you still crack jokes.
She smiles and she's like, I was never funny.
You know, if this works, any of us survive, it's going to be painting a pretty big picture. Pretty big target on the back of their heads. This poor Kai kid, huh? This is basically like writing in our own expiration date, isn't it?
Well, at least one of us will get to be a hero.
And I think that is when we cut back to Kai dressed in a mandate uniform, smoothing it out, going, so I can just use my real name?
Yeah, your real name. We got a fake identity for you and everything. Nobody's gonna know.
Cool. God, I imagine what it must have taken to get into all of the mandate networks with that. Do you think I could get assigned to that job sometime?
Oh, totally. Yeah, it was really hard because, let's be honest, your hacking abilities are pretty well known in the mandate. So it was a lot of work to get you, a clean slate Warren. I can't decide if Warren starts laughing in person or no. Warren doesn't laugh. Okay. Warren has an unreadable expression. Yes. Warren's just like, yeah, it was hard to get you a clean slate.
Well, I appreciate it, and I will do my best to live up to what you all have done for me here.
Hell yeah. That's what we like to hear. Isn't that right, V7?
We love to hear that.
And I am going to use the same move again of assuming good intentions from someone who means me harm, because that is really exactly what I just described, coincidentally.
It's very funny. It's extremely funny.
So, do we want to say our shuttle has landed and either we're being approached or we're supposed to get off and check in?
Yeah, it's probably, so this is obviously about as big as an event can get, right?
Yes.
It's not only the unveiling of immortality, but the Emperor's special day. So I'm sure that they would have quite a setup for like checking who comes in, who comes out, and like who goes to the bathroom and when.
Yeah,
Um, Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I didn't have anything.
Cool. Um, I imagine that maybe one of the ways that we attempt to deal with this, and so we don't have this like long like crowd scene and stuff, is that
Right.
we aren't entering as like spectators or even low level liberation members. That like Kai's identity is like part of the security forces or something like that,
Oh,
or
that's
like
good. Yeah.
auditor. I think auditor, security auditor.
Oh my
Um,
god.
she is.
Way above the pay grade, but yeah.
Uh huh. Um, and um, oh god, this is perfect. I see a bunch of ways this is perfect, but I'm going to hold those cards in my hand, backs to you.
Okay.
So her rank that she's supposed to have, let's see, what's an evil sounding rank that's like mid rank bureaucrat? I don't know if there's. Let's see. I'm trying to think of like Star Warsy names. It's like director. There's Grand Moff, which is not happening.
Um.
Actually, it might just be agent, which also adds a fun like I'm an
Yeah.
agent now because like she's a security inspector, right? Or she's supposed to be.
To be an agent. Hey, how's that feel?
I'm like a real intelligence member, like you, Warren.
Yeah.
Haha, yeah, exactly like Warren.
A real intelligence member. Uh. Let's see. I think. So, Kai does provide like that glimpse of hope, and Warren is not heartless. Close, but not quite. And I think that like Kai being like, "I'm a real intelligence member," kind of bums Warren out a bit. And Warren's like, takes a lot more to be an intelligence member, Kai, and it's not necessarily something you want to be. All right.
Why? Why wouldn't I want to be like you?
V7, why don't you answer this one, huh?
Um, and V7 will be like, God, be something like, because because we have high hopes for you. You're gonna do a lot better than all of us. So
Yeah.
don't sell yourself short, you know.
Oh, yeah, you're gonna
Um,
go a lot further than agent.
She like nervously nods. Okay, I appreciate that y'all believe in me.
Yeah, we've
She's
got
like,
no shortage of belief.
let's
Sure.
do this, okay?
All right. Keep your head on, okay? And try not to catch yourself in a lie.
Yeah,
Just
sounds good.
be smooth, be cool.
Um,
Lie to this kid.
cool. Are y'all good with being like my helmeted bodyguards as like a
Yeah,
way we
yeah,
explain this?
Yeah.
Cool.
yeah.
So I imagine we get like a shot of the two of your helmets coming down and then the like ramp opening off of the ship.
Yeah.
Cool. And Kai strides out. And as we walk up, I imagine like we're on some insane space station. Like it's like it's the NFL sports stadium that the city municipally
Oh
paid
God.
for some reason of space
Right.
stations.
Right.
And but we're not entering on the crowd entrance at the like dock. There's like a maintenance section below, and we are like at the bottom point is where we've docked. And as we're striding down the long catwalk with no railings because that's Star Wars. I think she like leans back to one of you and goes like, "Any tips on how to behave, how to act like I'm really this thing?"
Yeah. Yeah. You ever been mad?
Yeah. Yeah. And then I think like there's there's actually like a moment where she gets really serious for a second and goes, yeah.
There you go. So, like that. And like, you want to take it out on anybody that gives you an excuse.
Mad and take it out on anybody. And it's all going to be like, mandate motherfuckers, right?
You know, you could say it with maybe a little bit more conviction, right? Like, don't stutter when you say it.
But it is,
Mandate.
right? Like that's who I'm going to be lying to.
Oh yeah. Just just bad people.
But the mandate.
Right, the mandate.
And there's like a long silence. I can do mad.
Good.
Yeah, okay. So I think we go up. Does anyone want to play like the guard that's checking us in?
I don't think we need to. We can just like go straight through that one, right?
I guess I just wanted to see like the first interaction of Kai with like having to pretend to be Agent Halcard. It doesn't, instead of a guard, it could be some sort of like bureaucrat or even upper level person. I just really feel like even a brief interaction.
Yeah, I kind of want to watch Kai maybe flounder a bit. All right, so we're walking through the long fucking hallway that is like suffocatingly quiet, and there is just a couple dudes standing at the door. One of them steps forward whenever you approach, and he's like, name, identification.
And real quick before I answer that, you actually get a token, Fae, because I took a lateral move, ask someone for advice or assistance while outside of immediate danger, and give them a token if they provide it.
Oh, I have 2 tokens. Oh, I gave advice.
Yes.
Good for you.
And if I'm unable to move myself around these obstacles, luckily I have comrades. So I think she looks at those and then goes, Agent Kyron Halcard, give me my identification. I mean, my entrance pass.
Guy like looks at you for a second. He's like thumbing through a bunch of stuff on a data pad. Thumbing through. What does Kai do when it like hits that point of, oh, this is kind of taking a while? How does Kai deal with waiting?
I don't want to wait all day.
Right, fine. Look, you're on the list. I just had to double check. It's a big day, you know.
Yeah, that's why you better not fuck it up.
Little kid who has just learned how to swear.
Yes. So the dude is like not exactly taken aback, but just kind of like, damn.
And with that, I think she like swishes her cape, which this uniform definitely has.
Gotta have the cape.
Walks right past him.
Wow. All right.
So the first one went okay.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad. You're handling it. The cape is really empowering you.
Yes, absolutely. Can I add a background element though?
A little too much.
Yeah, go ahead.
So there's a mandate move. Foreshadow a larger threat and gain a token. And I'm going to give 1 token to the mandate. And I think he like enters in that Agent Halcard has arrived, and we just see a computer screen. Like the camera's super close to the screen, so we have no idea the context. Blip red, and someone's hand touches the name Agent Kyron Halcard.
Oh no.
Cool. So larger threat has been foreshadowed. What scene is next?
I assume they'd have some kind of like. So this is being televised. They'd have some kind of like AV control center, right? Like they want to make sure they get all the best angles of the Emperor, totally gutting the previous Emperor. So if we are going to, like, if our message is going to be, we kill the Emperor, and we want it to be televised. We want to be sure that they can't cut the commercial.
Yeah.
Plus, we want, all the best angles of the Emperor eating shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
So I think finding that and taking control of it is our first play. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
If we want things to get really interesting really fast, I guess no. Foreshadow, I want at least one scene before her credentials fail us. But I think we do have to do something that we're not supposed to be doing. So this is, I think, a thing where Kai's not going to be able to accomplish the thing we need to accomplish, and you all can decide how it gets accomplished. She can get you in the door.
Oh, yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I have a move I'm going to sit on for when you get in trouble.
Cool.
I think it'll be fun.
Do y'all have an idea for what sort of trouble Kai gets in this particular scene, or do you even want me to just march in there and one of y'all can use the move to put me in trouble, or just put me in trouble?
Has Kai ever experienced personal violence?
Probably not a ton. I think hardship. I get the idea that Kai comes from a really destitute town, and so is used to hardship but not violence. If that makes sense.
Okay. So okay.
It's a communal atmosphere where people really take care of each other because there's nothing.
Right. So Kai can get us into the door. And again, big day. Emperor's big day. So I assume that even once you're through the door, there are still going to be guards or, armed people or people that aren't really, willing to take some.
Oh, yeah. I got it.
19-year-old.
That gave me an idea, unless you want to.
No. Go ahead. What's your idea?
So I think we see the door opening, and Kai walks in, and she goes, "Agent Hallcard, security inspector, everybody out. It's time for an audit." And everyone looks at her, and no one moves. And she's like, I said out. And if one of y'all wants to have a response to this, or sorry, have a response from the mandate folks to this.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say if you don't have a response, I have a plan. I have a move that I can play.
So I think it would be interesting if Kai, is being all uppity and everything, and then just gets fucking decked or whatever, and is like, oh my god. God.
Cool. So in that case, I'm gonna make Kai get a little more upset. So Kai is going to be approach who's the commanding officer in charge here, and someone steps forward and has also two bodyguards, and is like, if you don't want to end up on the, and name some backwater planet on a shit assignment, and for the rest of your life and career, you're gonna get all of these people out of here right now. Do you understand me? And looks at the bars on his uniform and realizes she can't read those bars, and then repeats, do you understand me?
Oh my god.
I think at this point, V7 puts her hands up, and it's kind of turns a little bit to her and is like, I knew the kid was going to be successful, but I didn't realize this successful.
Was that out loud?
Just quietly to Warren.
Oh, quietly to Warren. Cool.
Because I think we're raising our hands because we knew we were going to get captured.
Yeah.
And we didn't tell you that.
And Faye, you were about to have the mandate folks act.
Yeah, so Warren is like, I think the cape went to her head. And then, right about then, one of the mandate guys, like, just looks you up and down, like, who the fuck is this kid? Fuck this. And just decks Kai, like, square in the nose.
Put someone in immediate danger and give them a token.
Yes.
Okay. Mandate move.
I'm taking a token for get captured.
Oh,
Cool.
yeah.
I want to spend it in a second, so.
So I get knocked to the ground, and the two of you immediately get like handcuffed. Is that the?
Yeah, we've
that's the
already
deal?
started surrendering. Like once they start like wailing on you.
And I think
God.
Kai, like, after like a few dizzy moments, like looks up and is like, after a few dizzy moments, Kai's looks up and is like, "You're my supervisor. Hear about this?"
Born natural.
And one of them kneels down and like throws handcuffs on her.
Oh God,
So-
I love the commitment and the enthusiasm.
So you did your get captured move and got a token, and then you had an idea for a thing you wanted to do. Do you want that now, or do you need more time?
One of the strong moves I have, which is why I wanted the token, is find yourself captured and have the skills to get yourself and only yourself free.
Yeah.
So I think what happens is we all get like dumped into like a temporary like holding like area. So like this is like the media place, like the broadcast for the emperor and whatever. So like they're not gonna like haul us down to like the local precinct or whatever. Like that's gonna take too much effort. It's gonna take too much time. So they're just gonna have somebody, especially with like the traffic being what it is, because like they need to have big crowds for this because it needs to be a big ceremony and like so they're just gonna like stuff us in a room with guards, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it doesn't matter. Once we all get in there and they like make us take off our guard armor and de-weapon us and stuff, like I think like the mandate, like the officer in charge of the other ones, like is like, oh shit. Like once he sees V7, and he like calls for like backup. And like when like 6 other dudes show up and they're like, you got to take this one. 39's gonna want to see her.
Oh no. 39. That's a big number.
Yeah.
And so that's your way of getting out, is just like knowing people.
Mm-hmm. And like so I don't imagine like Warren is very like worried about this development. You know, it's just kind of like they wave at each other as V7 leaves.
Whereas Kai is looking over to Warren like puppy dog eyes, like, oh God, what do we do? Sort of, but not out loud, and has like a black eye, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, like, maybe a little bloody nose or something.
Warren's bloody nose, I like that better.
Warren's just, like, sitting on the floor, like, resting on her knee and just, like, looking at Kai, like, so how did it feel? Have you ever been punched in the face before?
Like, when I was a kid once, but not really like that, by a soldier. Yeah. Don't we have to do something about V7?
V7's cool as a cucumber. We don't really got to worry about her. I mean, we do, but like, our job right now is to, well, I guess maybe act as a distraction for V7. And you know what a great way to do that is?
What?
Cause a scene. You ever been punched twice in the same day?
No.
Look, so this might hurt, Kai. I swear it's gonna be fine though, okay? I'm gonna use a vulnerable move and like, stand up, put my arm around Kai and be like, this is all for the sake of the mission, okay? And this mission is bigger than any of us. I'm gonna need you to play a convincing victim. Okay?
Okay, that's what this takes. I get it. Yeah.
All right, perfect. So, here, maybe just put this in your mouth. And like, Warren takes out like a small slip of cloth and then bite down on that. Don't want to swallow your tongue. You ready?
Does.
Is that something that can happen?
Usually Dirk Caesars, but yeah.
All right, so here we go. And Warren is going to like give a pretty convincing punch into Kai's like diaphragm and start generally causing a scene and like yelling to try and draw some attention over to the guard or over to the cell that they're in.
Kai's gonna cough.
Okay.
That's about it.
All right. You piece of shit, you got us fucking caught. You were supposed to do a better job than that.
She's like looking up at you with like puppy dog eyes.
Uh-huh. We thought you had what it took. We really thought you had what it took. But I guess you're just some nobody, huh? All right? You're just some nobody. I should kill you right here. You know what? I think I will. And Warren pulls out let me look at these moves really quick. All right. So I'm going to G7. Are you good? Do you need any assistance, or am I good to commit to this?
You can commit to this.
Okay, cool. So I want to get some guards over here in order to get them to open up the cell, thinking that Kai has just been killed. So I'm going to use a strong move and spend a token to move you and your comrades around an obstacle that you would be unable to overcome directly. So I am going to take the knife and I'm going to grab Kai, I'm going to scruff Kai.
Yeah.
And like lean in and say, sorry, but it ain't gonna kill you. And then draw the blade just close enough against the throat that Kai will bleed convincingly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Lay still.
There's genuine fear, like complete lethal fear in Kai's eyes, but she is staying still.
Perfect. So yeah, Warren drops Kai. It's like, all right, come and clean her up, boys.
And Kai falls. And the guards like open up and walk in and point a blaster at you, but like close. Like the blaster is within arm's reach.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I like drop the blade, false sense of security. I've done what they wanted, right? So they'll ease up a bit. But we've got two dudes in here. We've got the captives. Everybody's laboring under the everybody is laboring under the notion that the break-ins have already been caught. So I want to grab the blaster from the dude that came in and probably just, get him right under the chin, somewhere where it would be super noticeable if the armor's scuffed, and then get the other dude.
I'm imagining it happens in like a flash of just like a
just
grab, shoot under, shoot in the back.
Instantaneously. And then Warren just kind of tosses the blaster aside. It's like, all right, so now we got our actual disguises. Hey, come on, get up.
Kai's just kind of like sitting there, like staring.
Oh shit! Have you never seen someone die?
I've not in a fight. Is it always like this?
Like what?
No, kids. Sometimes it's worse.
Yeah. Look, they're part of the mandate. I mean, they signed up for this. They had it coming.
She like looks down at them. The mandate.
What was it you said? Those fucking mandate. What word did you use?
Motherfuckers.
Motherfuckers. That's right. So we got two dead motherfuckers on the floor right here, and we're gonna take their suits and ties and slip them on.
She stands up and like starts taking their armor and putting it on. And I think the stinger I'd like for this scene, she turns, this doesn't have to be the last line, but sort of the last exchange,
Right.
is that like, right before she pulls the helmet down, she turns to you and says, I have seen someone die before, though. A lot of people, actually.
Great, so you know what to expect.
And I think if there's no response from Warren, she'll continue.
Yeah, Warren is still smiling, but it's easier to tell that it is a fake smile.
Yeah, she says, so yeah, she had just said that I've seen someone die before. It just wasn't in a fight. And then she says, a lot of people die, actually. And then she looks down at the body. It was all their fault. And she kicks the guard's head and slips the helmet over, like the dead guard's head, and then slips the helmet over hers.
And Warren stops smiling.
We're gonna want to remember that kick for later. I think it's gonna be real fun.
Cool. Sounds good.
So like you're armored up and stuff, right? You're committing your jailbreak. This is great. You step out of the room, and it's like vaguely close to like all of the like the television monitoring room, and so like there's like these screens that like showing the event as it's happening. And I'm going to give the mandate a token here for Shadow a Threat, where you see footage of yourself. You see footage of yourself like absolutely eating shit as you got like beaten up and captured and stuff. And as like the mandate is playing it up, and it's like, oh, we caught some liberation spies attempting to assassinate the emperor before his ascension. This is the best they could possibly send. No one's going to stand in the way of progress. So, and like in the video of this, there's like this like very stern looking woman like giving this like speech and like kind of like firing everyone up, and standing right next to her wearing a mandate uniform is someone who looks exactly like V7.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Kai looks at the screen and is like, looks over and is like, is that?
And the broadcast continues, and it's like, we've identified this intruder as Agent Kai, last name that I forgot.
Halcard.
Agent Kai Halcard, decorated or up and coming like liberation hotshot. And like kind of like plays you up like a little bit, like talks about your like successes and how you've been assigned to this clandestine liberation operation, and how you think you're like an invincible young hero and nothing can stop you, because they're trying to like play up like you're emblematic of everything about the liberation, and we just kicked the liberation's ass.
Yeah.
I fucking love that.
Kai has like no idea how to feel, like the combination of emotion. You see Kai like staring into the screen, like wonder-eyed beneath the mask. Like maybe there's even a shot with inside the helmet.
Yeah.
But it's just like absolutely unreadable because the mixture of emotions is insane.
Yeah. How's it feel? How's it feel, kid? Warren doesn't say that, obviously. Like we're in the situation right now, so.
Cool. Is there more to the broadcast, or is that where we?
Yeah, that's the broadcast. Is you just see someone in a mandate uniform, like V7, and they're basically like they're talking up Kai as though like everybody at the top echelon of the liberation knows who Kai is. Like this is their like super soldier that they sent to assassinate the emperor, and clearly not a threat. Clearly not a threat.
I think Kai turns towards Warren and is like, they all know who I am now.
They sure do. You're a real liberation agent now. You get it?
I think I might be starting to. What we have to do is make it worth it. Okay?
Sure.
And I think in the face of that, this is going to be a lateral move.
Okay.
Remind someone why the principles of the liberation matter and give them a token if they listen. And she's going to, for the first time that she has ever been forceful with you, she grabs your wrist when you laugh and say, sure.
Yeah.
And says, this isn't a joke, Warren. If I'm giving up my life or freedom or something for this, we're going to hit them where it hurts, okay? Because that's what the liberation is here for. Because we're going to show the people in this galaxy that the mandate is not as invincible as they think they are. And that's what this has to matter, okay? That's not something to laugh at.
I think Warren stops smiling and grabs, puts a hand on Kai's shoulder and is like, kid, I ain't laughing because it's funny. You ever been in a situation where the only thing you can do is laugh?
Kinda.
It's one of those situations, isn't it?
Yeah. And she
we'll make it work.
Chuckles
we'll
to
make
herself.
It work. Oh, don't pick up Warren's habits.
Do you think you listened to why the principles of liberation matter there? Do you get the token?
Warren did listen.
I think so too. Cool. So 1 token for me. Cool. And then I think the last thing she says is, and was that V7 there? Because out of character, I don't think she yet knows that there's other V7, that V7 means there's other ones.
Right.
Yeah, you've probably never seen V6 or V8.
Yeah. She goes, was that V7?
Yes and no.
Is she mandate?
Yes and no.
What are we going to do?
Nothing new. V7's on our side. For the most part. But you know what our job is, right? We're here to meet with a very special somebody.
Special somebody?
Yeah, you haven't put it together yet, kid? What's today?
Are we going to kill the Emperor?
Something to that effect.
Fuck yeah. And I think scene.
Oh my god.
Do we want to go to V7?
Yeah, let's go to V7.
Okay. So, so while you're watching this, I think you get a message from V7 that's like, I'm ready in the media room. I'm ready in the media room. I think she sends that to Warren.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Um
Are you sending this back to Warren and Kai, like the camera? I suppose I'm.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, you can. So you enter in to the media room, and there are a couple of bodies.
Oh god.
And very scared looking workers. Which I've spent my other token for this, which is hang on, I have to go look back at my moves. Demonstrate a skill that no one knew you had.
Oh god.
And so you get in here and you see the woman who looks exactly like V7. Holding a gun, and there are bodies on the ground that are someone who, V7 in V7, someone who looks like V7 in V7's clothes, and the 2 other guards that were in here.
Oh. So Kai looks at the person who looks like V7 in V7's clothes on the ground and is like, no, V7.
Uh, shit.
Oh, actually, I'm gonna add in no V7, and then looks up at you and it's like, "Fuck you."
That kid, come on.
Come on, what?
Which one? Just figure it out.
Oh, V7?
And V7's like, I used to think it was cute how slow you are, but you're really gonna need to pick this up if we're gonna get through objectives 2 and 3.
You're amazing.
Amazing?
All of these on your own? This many of those pieces of shit? And ask a player or pillar, how do you find my optimism or naivete inspiring or endearing in this moment? And give them a token.
Yeah, all right. I'll take it. It's kind of nice because and V7 hates this, is that you're everything that we do want you to be for the purpose of this mission. Is like an inspiring, idealistic, bright-eyed, nothing can go wrong hero. So it does make V7 kind of feel like that, maybe if this is gonna maybe this is necessary, maybe this will actually matter, and also makes her feel really shitty for what's gonna happen next. Because she hands you the gun and is like, okay, so now we need the footage for part 2.
What footage?
And then she turns to Warren and is like, I'm recording for whenever you want to get her to do it.
Warren just nods, takes the gun, and grabs Kai's hand and puts the gun into Kai's hand. Told you how to shoot a gun before we got here, right?
Yeah.
And V7 is unbuttoning her jacket and pulling open her blouse and is anywhere's fine.
She looks at Warren and looks at V7 and looks at Warren, and I'm going to use a vulnerable move, which is say I thought we were better than that. And she's going to go, what? No. I thought we're better than this. V7 hasn't done anything to deserve this. I'm not doing this.
Come on. The hero of the liberation, decorated officer, Agent Kai Halson?
Halcard?
Halcard defeats evil spy close to the Emperor. We can't just have you assassinate him straight up. We've got to build this narrative.
He's right, Kai. Listen, I know it's tough. You wanted to be an agent, right? You said you're just getting started. You've got a long road ahead of you. So take the gun and fucking shoot her. So I'm going to use a lateral move to persuade a hesitant individual that an action is worth the consequences and give them a token if they listen. Listen, Kai. Think about every story you've ever read in your life. Which one sticks with you the most? What's more entertaining? Bunch of nobodies show up and take out the Emperor, or up-and-coming big shot Kai Halkarn swoops in, takes out the advisor, takes out the Emperor, takes out the Emperor's clone, and destroys all possibility of the Emperor gaining immortality through technology or what have you. This can't just be one and done. This has got to be convincing.
I think if you think that this is acceptable, I'm going to take the token, but I'm not going to kill her. I'm going to play off of convincing as the ending. I'm going to play off of convincing and have Kai repeat convincing. Yeah. oh. And she like looks around at the screens. Yeah. And then she looks at V7. This is gonna hurt, okay?
Don't worry, I'm incapable of feeling pain.
And
You know, it would be good if it came back right now.
what?
Remember that book? Remember that book that you touched V7 with at the beginning?
Yeah.
It's a bit like that, isn't it?
Exactly like that.
V7, close your eyes.
And-
All right.
And then Kai shoots, but she does not shoot in a lethal area like would be needed for what we're talking about. She shoots through the shoulder, like in that area where it could just go through if it needed to, if it were a bullet, not a blaster. It's like a fairly safe location. Does anyone get like mad at her for fucking this up? Because there's a second part of this coming. There's a strong move coming, but I want to know what the reactions are.
I don't think. Okay.
Can I
think
have the
one is-
Can I do the reaction of the shot and then you'll do the second part?
Yeah, actually, I'm realizing I think with it, Kai hisses drop, like along with her shot.
Gosh. So, how about you just do your next? How about you describe the next part? And if I want,
Yes.
and if I want to change it, we can walk it back.
Yeah, totally. So it's going to be, do you drop, and then we can walk it back if we need to.
Yeah. Let's
Cool.
go with whatever your vision is, and then if I want to change it, we can go back.
Yeah, I'm realizing me keeping a secret in this GM-less play is not necessarily helpful here. So use your one specialized skill to inspiring success. And my idea is that like she immediately sits down at the console and like pulls up like 6 different angles that I assume this room has. And you see like we get like a terminals pop open and she starts like typing super rapidly scene and like text flowing down the screen and all of that. Though I guess it's Star Wars, so it's like lines like coming from the side and targeting in on different pieces of the photo and or the video, and like the blaster bolt moves and the lighting changes, and like she is like at once editing 6 different videos and moving that blaster bolt to be like directly into the chest.
So, do you actually shoot V7? Like, do you hit V7 somewhere?
Yes, in the shoulder.
Okay. So V7 is like standing and like watching you do this, and is like, make sure you add in the blood, because she hasn't done anything to fix her clothes, and there's just like this like sparking like mechanical hole in her shoulder.
Oh shit. Here's a question. Did she know that you were a robot? Did Kai know that you were a robot? No.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
You're spending a lot of effort to cover up something you could have done with no consequences to begin with, and V7 thinks that's hilarious.
Makes V7 feel a little human again.
Yeah, and like Warren, like I feel like Warren's like looking at you like you're a fucking idiot. Like, God, why did you have to make this more complicated? Now we got to sit around and wait for you to finish this hacker shit.
So, I think there's also a little bit of relief though. Like, it's essentially like you're the forever kicked puppy, right? Like you were the embodiment of somebody that Warren once knew, forever struggling through this fucking like selfhood, and seeing you spared from at least a little bit of like pain or like getting that chance at humanity it hurts, but it's still a relief.
Glad. I'm really out of character, glad.
Yeah. So, do I have a way to like?
I have a response to what happened here. But if you want to step in, you can.
I think like while just it's nothing like huge, and shouldn't go off on a tangent or anything. But I think like while Kai is like throwing this stuff through After Effects, Warren will come up to V7 and be like, "What did it feel like?"
And V7 is like, uh, um, V7 like looks over at the like corpse of 39 and is like, you mean that?
No. No, I don't mean that. I mean, Warren will like gesture to your shoulder with her head.
And she's like, it feels like the memory I have of getting my wisdom teeth removed, where there's this sense of pressure and a surprise that I don't feel pain.
So, unless, sorry, Warren, did you want to respond?
No, just sighing, just breathing out.
I want to figure out the moment in this scene where Kai makes the realization that you're a robot, and that conversation, she would have reacted to the blood comment if it had already happened, so I imagine it hasn't happened yet. So my question for you is, do you want her to turn around and notice here, or do you want to make the blood comment now, or do you want her to notice in the video she's editing?
Yeah,
finally.
So like 4:30 V7 drops like you said she should, and then you look at her and like when she like starts to move again, you're like, okay, she's not dead. And you run and you start doing the video editing and the things, and so then like V7 like leans over the console you're on to go make sure you add the blood, and she's pointing at the like very obvious like hole at her shoulder while also having that shoulder very close to you.
Yeah, and I like look left, and I'm like, oh, so oh, and then she looks at the body on the ground, and then looks back to you. Oh, the book and the trackpad and the
You
which one of you? Which one of you?
Don't ask that question.
Oh, is that? Sorry, I guess
Fine.
that's kind of
no.
rude.
Go ahead. Ask. You're gonna break her heart. Her memory of one, anyway.
And Kai just like looks near tears, and experiences consequences for misreading a situation. Vulnerable move. I'm sorry, V7. I didn't. No.
Oh, it's okay as long as you're sorry.
And there's just this like heavy silence. And she turns back to the screen and keeps doing her work silently, adding the blood.
That's a great closeout right there.
Yeah. Cool. I think it's time for one of our foreshadowed threats to come back.
Cool. Can't wait to make Kai even more.
So I just want to go over the plan real quick, because I want to move closer to an ending. So let's do our threat, and then I think the two other. I feel like there's like 3 scenes. So one of them is getting rid of what's left of the project. One of them is killing the Emperor. And then the other one is like the aftermath of that, or like in the process of that, where we all go out guns blazing for you to achieve that objective. Does this sound okay for everyone? Does this sound like the plan that we're headed towards?
Yeah, that sounds perfect. And we can even work that like foreshadowed threat into one of those goals. So like they meet us where we're going because they know where we're going because they figured out who we are, sort of deal.
Yeah, okay. That's good. I think for the next scene, I'll say where we're going and what's there, and then you can bring in the threat you foreshadowed.
Perfect. Awesome.
All right.
I'm
See you in 10.
For our next scene, we want to bring back this threat that I foreshadowed.
It's right for this mission, one of them. So we're going to go to the second one, which is to get rid of the technology that is currently making it possible to have a duplicate emperor. So V7, like wearing her little outfit, like takes you through a couple of rooms and into this like was basically like a server room, right? Because there's like a lot of logistics technology in here, and it's very very cold. Like it's like chilled, you know, like
Yeah.
those evil Star Wars like dark metal reflective surfaces, you know, and everything clicks menacingly when we step on the you know, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so then it's all kind of like clustered around this like object that has been wheeled into the area and like plugged into these things, because like you get the implication that like it's probably somewhere else most of the time. But they have it here either for ceremonial reasons or necessary reasons. And it basically looks like a coffin, like a big, fancy, futuristic coffin, right? Like it's like bed-sized. It's got the Sleeping Beauty glass top. And inside of it, looking like she's resting very peacefully, is like an older woman, like maybe someone in her late 40s, maybe early 50s, who's just like kind of like relaxed comfortably and very very deeply asleep.
Warren's expression is, perhaps for the first time since you've met her, readable. It is a very profound sense of sadness looking at this person.
Out of character, is this who I think it is?
Yeah, actually, absolutely.
Yes.
Like the mood is very dark between V7 and Warren. Like you get the impression, like I feel like you get the impression that like they knew they were always going to be here and neither one of them wants to be here.
Yeah.
So, and I love this, not actually dead, just plugged into this machine and has to be for it to work. Is that the vibe, the original?
A little bit, yeah.
Fuck.
So V7 like goes up to the like this like coffin, like this display coffin, and like sets her hand on the glass, and like without turning to Warren, instead turns to Kai, and like this is like the first soft expression you've ever seen out of her ever, and she's like, "This is memory."
Then looks back at you. Oh, well, I want her to not fuck it up, because the question I was going to ask is your memories, but I feel like that misunderstands the situation in a way I don't want Kai to right now. Is that true?
A question you could ask is her name.
Yeah, because I think the other thing is she might interpret that as her name. Actually, yes, I think that's how the question is asked. Is that her name?
And then this is probably the only smile like anyone has ever seen from V7. It's a very wry smile, and she's like, "I don't know what her name is. That's why we just call her Memory. Remember the experiment with the book?
Yeah.
When you're a simulated consciousness, on some level, you understand that you are not the original. And as I'm sure you're aware, Kai, a name is very important, whether it's attached to a brand new soldier in an idealistic army, or a veteran hero out to assassinate the emperor. A name is someone's identity." And then she like, her smile gets a little bigger. "And I don't remember what mine is."
God, this is out of character. Oh God, I'm trying to find. Do you want this moment to like end on something that is just like just really like sad, or do you want Kai to try to like make this a moment of connection? because I have some ideas on how to do that, but I don't want to undermine what you're going for out of this scene.
I have it set up so that this scene is going to end in tragedy as soon as like Kai leaves. So like whatever you want to get for Kai out of the situation is good. But like you do have to understand that the entire project is being destroyed in whatever it is you want to go towards.
Yes. Oh no, that totally. I think Kai goes, "Why did you keep V7 then?"
That's because I'm version 7. I'm version 7, update 31. And she really searches for the words. Friends are V6, update 2, and V8, update 24. And she just kind of like not exactly pets the glass, but just kind of runs her hands down it. And she's like, V8 was the last actual upload from memory. They haven't been using her since the V8 series.
But you didn't answer my question. Why did you keep it? If it seems to me like not having a name or her name, or it seems like it bothers you. So why keep V7?
Because it's what I'm called. And you gotta be called something, right?
And I think Kai walks over and puts a hand on the coffin and looks at Memory and looks at you and at Warren and then back at you. It seems like we're making names for ourselves today. And you don't have to. I don't want to tell you how to live your life. Obviously, and she looks back at Memory, really have no idea. But, well, I wasn't Agent Halcard a couple hours ago. And if you want a name, your name, not something someone gave you, if there's ever been a time to have it go down in history, it seems like today's the day. So if you think of one, let me know, and I'd be happy to call you it or put it in the broadcasts or whatever it is that you want, okay?
So V7 takes you gently by your shoulders and really looks into your face. And then she pulls you into a hug. And it lasts enough to be meaningful. And then she lets go of you and squeezes your shoulder again and says, people need names, not tools.
Oh.
And then she goes and she goes and leans against one of the one of the server racks or whatever, and pulls out her communicator. And she says, I know this is probably going to be hard for you, so you can leave the room while Warren takes care of it.
He looks at Memory and then back at you. I might, but honestly, I imagine it's not fun to be her if she knows anything at all at this point. But I just want you to know the reason it's hard is, well, I'm sad to see most people go. But it's not, I don't have any personal connection to her. I have a personal connection to you, V7. You are the one who's my friend, not her.
Ooh. Ooh. Oh. And she just like gives you a pain smile, and she's like, "It's been fun, kid, but you've got places you gotta be."
Okay. Yeah, we gotta get moving towards the Emperor while there's still time. Okay. And she heads for the hallway. Meet me at, and she names a security outpost that y'all have already passed. I'm gonna be clearing us a route. So whenever you're ready.
Of course, kid. I'll be right there.
And she heads out the door.
Okay. So V7 has been messing with her communicator. And she's been tapping out a series of pings to V6. And all of them have gone unanswered. And so she's just typing over and over again, like, are you there? Are you still there? Are you still there?
So I think Warren's gonna come up. And she's gonna be like, you know she ain't gonna reply, right?
And V7 looks like kind of sad and kind of tired, and she says, "I know, but I still gotta ask." And then without looking up at the phone from her communicator, she goes, "Did it hurt you when you had to get rid of him?"
I wouldn't know. Close my eyes every time I do it.
Are you gonna close your eyes for me?
Yeah.
Good. I like that.
So I guess this isn't even really revealing crucial information, but this is just revealing the extent of the plan. So we're supposed to get rid of the entirety of the project. Up to and including V7.
V7 was told that if she went along with this, V6 and V8 would be fine. And she knew this was a lie when it was told to her.
Yeah. Do you want me to get rid of V7 right now?
I do want you to get rid of V7 right now.
Oh no. Oh, I was gonna try to come back around with the people thing for the last moment, but that is the last moment has already happened, which is like an apt commentary on death and its unexpectedness. But oh no.
Okay, so Warren's gonna walk up, put a hand on V7's back. Here, close your eyes. If I've got mine closed too, it'll be like this never happened.
So V7 closes her eyes, and I am assuming Warren isn't.
Warren does not close her eyes. Warren... I'm sure Warren knows the specific vulnerabilities of the V series. So just takes her concealed blaster and puts it up against V7's skin and pulls the trigger.
And she just crumples, with kind of like a loud noise, because she does have a robotic body, but she's just out, and she's just laying on the ground, with her eyes closed, and an unfathomable smile on her face.
Yeah. I think that's probably that scene. It should be said that Warren, of course, would trash the servers, etc.
In memory, yeah.
And
Warren is very thorough, let's say.
Warren is incredibly thorough.
Oh god.
Kai, where are you at again?
I'm in a security outpost.
Okay.
And that's where I told you to meet me, and you know where it is, so you would walk in on me.
Okay. All right, kid. Big moment's coming up.
Yeah, am I interrupting you?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I've almost cleared us a path. I've managed to get into their systems, actually, from here, and I've sealed off doors here, here, and here, and I think that should give us a direct path to where the ceremony is supposed to happen. We should be able to pop up right there, and this door should open to help us get out, and then she turns. Where's V7?
Oh, God. Vulnerable moves. Probably... I don't know if this would exactly count as a lie about capabilities or intentions, but Warren will, like, after a long pause, say, she went on ahead.
Okay.
Don't worry, we're gonna meet up with her later. And that part's not a lie.
Oh,
And to bring us into both our foreshadowed threat and our sacrifice fate, because technically we haven't started that, but I have an idea on how. Kai turns back to the screen, and she's like, okay, just one more door. Ah, shit. This one needs authorization. Here, I'll use mine. And she gets like the ID badge that I assume they were given when they were going in. And she like dips the card into the control interface. And everything goes red. Oh, fuck, oh, fuck, oh, fuck, oh, fuck. They must have burned my... Well, actually, the door opened, but I just think they're onto me. We don't have very much time. We would have to move now before they start undoing everything. I locked them out as best I could. We have to go now, but there's no way it'll be open on the way back. We would be trapped in there, Warren.
Warren nods. I know. You, God. So I think Warren's going to kind of like parody some of the language that they used in describing Kai during the like broadcast about like, oh, we apprehended this fucking big shot liberation person. Warren's going to be like, yeah, but what's a situation like this matter to big shot like you, right?
And I think in that moment, Kai starts to understand. Kai starts to understand why she's been brought there. Why it's her. And what they're expecting out of her. And you see this realization dawn in her eyes. And she goes, as the lights start to flash around her, I could leave.
Yeah. But you want to do something that matters, don't you? If you want... Actually, I think Warren's going to be like, if you try to walk away, I will kill you.
And she looks you up and down. God, how does she respond to that?
You've got a chance to do something good. Not doing something good when you have the chance is just as bad as doing something bad.
Oh, give me a second. I really got to think through Kai's response to this.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, because I think the quid pro quo that Kai wants here, and that I think I want meta-narratively, though I don't want to take agency away from your character, is that the sort of deal is yeah, Kai is going to do this thing that you have been trying to trick or pressure her into doing, and you've got to feel like it's worth it. That's what Kai wants out of this, is a sense that this might have been a cynical ploy on your part, but it was a cynical ploy because you believed that the results of that, even if you didn't believe before, that in this moment you believe the results of that ploy matter. And how, my question for you out of character is is there something that Kai can do that makes it feel that way in this moment? In fact, I think I have a move that's kind of appropriate here, which is ask a player or pillar, how do you find my optimism or naivete inspiring or endearing in this moment? But in this case, I actually really want it to be inspiring. And give you a token. I would like to work together as players. What could Kai do? I know I said this a million times now. What can Kai do that makes Warren feel in a visible way in this moment that this matters? I guess it has to be, suggesting,
Good.
something that plays on Warren's history. Actually, here's my question for you. Why did Warren get into this?
Warren wanted to do the right thing. Warren was Kai at one point.
More specifically, Kai got into this because a bunch of people in her village died, I think due to a mandate accident. I think that's what she was implying earlier, is just shitty working conditions took out a huge people in an industrial accident in a mandate facility.
Yeah.
But what was it for Warren?
Oh, God. For Warren, it was the slow death of capitalism sucking the life out of the area that she lived in.
Yeah.
It was that very particular kind of dehumanizing that comes along with it, where everybody is reduced to the value that they have, or can generate, rather.
So I think you threatened to kill Kai if she doesn't do this.
Right.
And Kai says, "You'd kill me, huh? You really believe in this?"
Yeah, I do.
What was it for you? And I like to imagine that Warren hasn't thought about that in a while because of how, you've been talking about how Warren at this point just does it because she's been doing it and because she doesn't know anything else.
Yeah.
So could this be a thing where Kai is making Warren think about something that she really hasn't in a long time, and it's a serious thing? Could I ask for that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
Warren
what?
Frowns because it's what was it for you? And a memory that she hasn't thought about, that should be some faded book in the attic, is sharp and painful and just the same as it was the first day it started. And there's that very visible facial recoil, she's put her hand on a stove. And I think that says a lot to Kai.
Yes. 100%.
Someone who's usually just so laughy or jokey or whatever, and generally difficult to understand, being immediately humanized. And then I think Warren will say, it's the same thing that the Empire fucking does to 100 other planets. Suck the life out of it, bit by bit by bit. What we are doing here today might not stop that, but think about it. You're going to be first person to kill a god.
I don't need to think about it. And I don't need to be the first person to kill a god. Why I'm going to walk down that hallway is for those people that they sucked the life out of, whoever they were to you, and for my people that they left to die. And anyone who is out there right now going through or about to go through the same thing, they're going to see this. And they're going to know that even if they can't do it themselves, someone can. Someone can, okay, Warren?
Warren nods.
And Kai takes the blaster off her hip and walks to the door and says, "They're going to come for this station. Try and override the locks that I left. Can you hold them off?"
Warren will just laugh and be like, "Yep. Remember what I told you about a gunfight? Don't get into one, and they're coming to me."
Thanks. Thanks for... She laughs, and it's a grim laugh.
Oh, God.
Thanks for being honest with me.
Yeah. No problem, kid. Good luck out there.
You too. I really mean it. Thank you.
Me?
And she disappears.
Oh, duh.
So I think we could go to a closing narrative from here. Because I think that like what happens is we get a you can walk me back on this if you want, but what I think we get like the Liberation broadcast of like footage of like cut together of like everything that like Kai allegedly did, which is like fight her way out of captivity when deep into enemy territory, and then take out the second in command to the Emperor, which is being painted as V39, and then like take out the Emperor himself. And we've got like footage from so many angles and like spectators and stuff of like that shootout happening. And then like Kai's message at the end, which was just like recorded from like by Warren personally, of like, I just want anybody out there to know that like this can't happen to them again, and we're gonna like someone out there is gonna help, and someone is gonna make it better, and we're gonna fight for the right things. I don't remember what you said. It was beautiful, but like that's the like Kai saying that with conviction is like what's playing in the center screen, and then like all of these things that Kai is doing or allegedly doing, like shooting people and assassinating people and taking down the Emperor's Immortality Project. Like that's like clips playing around the edges.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if I can ask, we get Kai's death scene. Like that is part of that montage, and we don't have to comment on what it looks like directly. But that is like there, which means I think what I would like to close on is then like flashback. So we've done one flashback already, so the camera knows like that we shoot a flashback differently, something that communicates to the viewer. I'm sorry, I think all in visual terms now.
No, that's all good.
And it doesn't have to be long. I just want one moment from when Warren is either dying or knows that they are imminently going to die. Not like dying is going to happen on this mission, but like they are just around the corner. It's like K2 like slamming the button because K2 knows that they're going to be shot through soon. Like, what is Warren's moment? I'll also offer a suggestion that maybe Warren can see Kai on the screen during this moment.
I think so. That's what I was gonna go for. So Warren is probably like sitting in a chair, bleeding out, like clutching, like a side or kidney or something. And the room is just like carnage. And you've got like the one good screen shows Kai, and Warren thinks that's the person I could have been. Kai is the living ideal that Warren wanted to be.
God, I wish Kai was there in that moment to say, and you are, because you're who allowed Kai to do that. Oh, actually, can I give that to you in a different way?
Yeah, go ahead.
Kai knows that you're watching because you're in that room, right? With all the screens.
We're in the room.
And I think just before Kai shoots, do you have something you want me to?
No, just the idea that Kai knows that Warren could be watching, but doesn't know if Warren is dead yet, but does this anyway.
Just before, I think she shot one Emperor, and she's about to shoot the other Emperor, and she looks at the camera, and she mouths the words, "This is for them," and shoots.
Fucking good.
Cool. That's game.
Fuck yeah, that's game. Oh.
Oh God. Heartbreaking, thank
Sorry.
you.
Yeah, sorry I did you dirty, V7.
No, yeah, like when Jess was like, let's do a game, I was like, oh, let's suffer.
Yes, yeah, sorry, that was super loud. No, I love to suffer. That was good. That was good. Fucking regicide? Double
Regicide.
regicide?
Double
Um,
self-sacrificing regicide and comradicide, and there's just a lot of asides here.
that was fucking good. That was good. I dug that.
Thank you so much for playing my game with me.
Thank you for having us. It was a blast.
Yeah, there's.
Um,
Oh, go ahead, Bridget.
yeah, as I think it's fun. I think let's see. You described it as this is a game system where it's like what if we could enjoy all the parts we like about Star Wars without engaging in all of the parts we don't like about Star Wars? And I think it's fun, and I do like that it's a belonging outside belonging system because there's all kinds of moves we can make, like all kinds of like plot decisions we can make on our own, but the moves make nice prompts, both for us and for like letting other players know that we want control of the scene or that we want to hand over control of the scene. Um, I think that's why I enjoy these so much, is because it's we get to make you have a bad time and then also like not have to struggle too hard to come up with the exact bad time. We have a bad time kit.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just so many useful like jumping off points and being like, how Star Wars itself is a show that, or a series that rhymes, as I often hear it described. Like each of the trilogies rhymes with the other, for better and for worse. And that's what part of what makes it really nice to write a belonging outside belonging system in it, is you just have to rhyme again, which is really possible with these prompts. And the token system, like you said, just like really allows you to pass around narrative control in a way that, like, once I started playing belonging outside belonging games, it's so hard for me to play GM'd games anymore because I'm just so used to like passing the mic back and forth in that way.
Oh yeah.
My favorite version of TTRPGs is not simulated systems, but rather like bullshitting out about OCs with a small amount of framework.
Yeah.
So I've played in a couple of these. Oh God, tell me the name of the setting that you just played that we're
Going rogue.
going rogue. I've played in a couple of these going rogue games so far, and I've had a blast every time. So yeah,
Yeah.
we should do it again.
Agree.
Thank you. So speaking of, if you, listener, would like to play Going Rogue, you can find that on my itch.io page. So that's Jess from online.itch.io. And if you want to find out about all of the stuff I do, because I also make music and write and do a variety of other things, and I'm also looking for games writing work and stuff like that, and editing I can also offer, you can find me on Twitter as @JessFromOnline, and you can find out about all of my projects and some of the work that I'm looking for there. As I said, Going Rogue is an expansion of Riley Rethel's Galactic. You can find Galactic at metagame.itch.io/galactic. And I also just want to thank a small set of people who are invaluable to making this game happen, which are my Galactic playgroup, Bree, Rhiannon, and Seda, who have just like inspired me constantly, and some of whom also make games. You can find Bree's games at weepingrobot.itch.io. So all of those things. Oh, and finally, I mentioned that they are belonging outside belonging, which is an engine designed by Avery Alder and Benjamin Rosenbaum for their systems Dream Askew and Dream Apart, which you can find on buriedwithoutceremony.com. Every person and system I just mentioned has really changed the way I look at tabletop role-playing games. So I'm just both very thankful and think that you should check them out. And thank you for having me on RPPR. I'm really excited we got to do this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, big shout outs to Ross for letting us use his recording equipment and for putting this on RPPR for all of you lovely people to enjoy. I have been your not Ross Payton host. Bridget, you can find me on Twitter at @unsatisfiedkit. It's like you were trying to spell unsatisfied kitty without the Y. I'm sure you've all already followed me. And you can find Fae nowhere. She does not have an online
By
presence.
design.
But you can tweet nice things at me, and I will tell them to her.
That's very Warren wrong step of you, Faye.
Yes, it is.
Thank you all so much for listening. I hope you really enjoyed our game today. I hope you give all of Jess's various creative projects a go. Her music's great. I think it actually has been featured on RPPR at one point.
Yeah, I know the triptych was featured on RPPR because Ross super digs the music. And if anybody here is listening to like electronic music and music made by extremely talented trans women, you would fucking love Jess's music. It's very good.
Oh, thank you.
I'm gonna reach back in time to the very beginning of this episode and preemptively put in the opener music as maybe something from Jess's.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Yeah, because Ross does opener music, I think. So
Ross does do opener music. It does set them.
Some extremely powerful time travel. I appreciate it.
I'm really good at it.
To continue the self-promotion, if you all are gonna talk up my music, which thank you, you can find it on liquidcrystal.bandcamp.com.
I'm sure you forgot all of the links we just said out loud, so they're going to be in the show description.
Yes.
I'm going to make sure that we get them hyperlinks so that you can just click on stuff and enjoy Jess's music, writing, and all of the games we mentioned and people we shouted out. So again, thank you all for coming. We'll talk to you next time.
Hi there, listeners. This is Jess from the future, coming to tell you about one more thing. Right now, as this episode is being released, have a crowdfunder online for a new game of mine called I Have the High Ground. I Have the High Ground is a collaborative two-player dueling game of banter, posturing, and capes. This duel is not about the physical fight, which will probably follow. It's about that exchange of words and posing that comes before a duel, of intimidation and insults. It's that moment of drama and tension that I Have the High Ground captures. It's a GM-less game with mechanics inspired by competitive fencing, in which players simultaneously reveal their moves, and whoever wins shapes the narrative that follows from that winning move. In I Have the High Ground, the loser of the game is the one who strikes the first physical blow in the battle that follows the game of I Have the High Ground. It is about running out of patience or frustration. It is about getting a rise out of your enemy. It is about that tension between two individuals that builds in these moments. It has character creation, but you can also use it to zoom in on pre-duel, pre-battle scenes in another campaign that you might be in and import your characters into it. I've used it for that, and it's fantastic. Playtesters have all loved it. I've gotten such great feedback of people telling me they thought it was fantastic. They found it extremely romantic. I just love getting to see how people experience this game. You can find it, the crowdfunder for it, at tinyurl.com/I Have the High Ground Game. No caps, no spaces. You'll also find that link in the description of this episode. That link is going to take you to Game on Tabletop. That's the site where we're hosting the crowdfunder. I'll say that originally it was going to be a Kickstarter, but after Kickstarter embraced blockchain and decided they'd move their infrastructure to blockchain, I decided that crypto, being as unethical and environmentally destructive as it is, was a deal breaker, and I was not going to stay on Kickstarter. And a lot of indie TTRPG creators have also done the same, and we're in a really scary and risky place because Kickstarter has a lot of buy-in and a lot of customers on the platform, so we could really use support from people, both in supporting our projects and ensuring that they're still able to fund, and also just building up other platforms to show that Kickstarter doesn't have a monopoly. I've had a great time working with Game on Tabletop, and if you are willing to come on over and back this project, it would be super helpful. We need to raise $3,000 for a print run of I Have the High Ground through Diskette Press, which is a queer small press out of Ann Arbor, Michigan. And I really want to get to do this, so your support would be appreciated. There are stretch goals that actually include an actual play with Bridget and Fae playing this 2-player game. So if you liked what you just heard, if you like both of their work, then you should come back and try and make sure we reach that stretch goal. There's also one with Riley Rethel, another actual play with Riley Rethel, creator of Doikite and Galactic, the base game that Going Rogue is built over. The base project, features art by the incredibly talented Ezra Rose and the very talented Finn Tanner. And so, yeah, if you liked hearing me play Going Rogue, if you thought it was an interesting game, then I think you might find my other work interesting, and you should consider supporting I Have the High Ground and getting another cool game that I made. So, yeah, find the link below. But again, it's tinyurl.com/I Have the High Ground game. I hope you get a kick out of it, or at the very least got a kick out of this episode. This is Jess from the future, signing off.